You know what? It doesn't even matter. Just cut it.
All right, guys. Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to The Cut. This week is our 5th episode, and we are rolling with something a little different. This week, we have a PGA professional golfer on our show, and I am so excited to have him on here. I had to wear my Pinehurst shirt tonight. But before we get into talking about who we got and all that, I just want to thank you guys for coming back and watching us for our 5th episode. My name's Tom Roth. I'm your host. I got my co-host, Anthony Aquendo, here with me. Set up what's up for the people, Anth.
What's up?
So we're going to introduce our host here in a second, our guest, here in a second. We're doing something a little bit different this week, Anthony. We decided that we were going to start our beer of the week this week. So let's throw out our beers of the week because, we're doing new shit, man. I mean, we got a new little segment. We got our beer of the week, and we got a new studio. We're here at Anthony's basement.
Casa de la Quendo.
That. I didn't pay attention in Spanish class. I assume that means the House of Aquendo.
It does.
Excellent. So, beer of the week. What do you got?
Today, I am drinking. It is a Great Lakes beer, actually. It's the same. I've drank this on the show before. It's a Tropicoastal IPA. Love my IPAs, so this is what I'm drinking.
So, for me, I'm kind of getting into that fall time feel. You know what I'm saying? Like it's getting to be fall. It's getting to be end of summer. I just really want football back and sweater weather. And my kid loves Halloween, and so do I. So I've got Boo Thang.
Boo.
From it's an independent craft out in Cleveland on Detroit Avenue from Saucy Brew Works. So I got that. I was gonna Baker Mayfield it, where I bite the can and then chug it, but I'm not trying to get super fucked up tonight. So without further ado, our new segment's done. Casa de Aquendo, our new studio. Let me introduce you all to a friend of mine, my mentor in the golf game, dude who's gotten me loving the game again. We're going to introduce to you PGA professional Josh Krause. Josh, say hi to people.
We need applause things here.
I'm also doing the old saucy boo thing here, so I can't crack mine open because I got 3/4 of it gone. But it's not too bad. I'm more of a sour kind of guy, sour beers. But this isn't bad. I
good,
like it.
right?
It's got a little pumpkin taste
Cheers.
to it. And
Cheers.
Cheers to all.
Yeah, let's.
thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for thanks for coming. There we go. Hey.
Hey.
If I start choking a little bit, I was actually a little pregame before I got here. Stopped the Iroquois, and I was drinking a White Claw.
It's been a while since I've been here.
Drinking a White Claw, I ain't gonna lie, and a gnat flew down my throat, and I started choking in there. And so if I think I kind of got it washed down now. I drowned in that little bastard. But anyway, the girls was like, "Did a fly just fly down your throat?" I'm like, "Something did."
Swallow a big June bug back there.
Yeah. So I think I swallowed a gnat, but anyway, I'm better now. So I didn't realize it was actually 8.5% alcohol. So,
Oh yeah, you're in for it
I'm
now,
gonna sleep
dude.
good tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, baby.
Yeah.
So
So you're Josh Krause.
I am, yeah. Born and raised in Ashtabula. Obviously grew up in Kingsville, but when I talk to out-of-towners, they probably heard of Ashtabula, but they haven't heard of Kingsville or North Kingsville, so I just say Ashtabula. So I claim Ashtabula.
Oh, you don't claim
so.
Cleveland?
No, I don't
No?
claim Cleveland. I claim Ashtabula. I'm proud of it. So
Okay.
a lot of awesome people, a lot of history here, underground railroad history, and just history in general. Obviously, being the biggest receiving port, in the top 3 receiving port in the world of iron ore at the turn of the 19th century. So it's a good place, a lot of good people. It's not necessarily the land of opportunity, but I think if you're creative too, there's ways of making money.
There definitely is.
Yeah,
For
absolutely.
Sure. So
I mean, there's ways to make money. I mean, right, I'm sitting next to a dude who owns a cell phone repair company.
Among many others.
Among many other things. I mean, come on. I mean, Aquendo Productions,
Yeah. I try to dabble in a little bit of everything.
Amateur porn star, from as I understand it.
Well, I don't have a studio for no reason.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying.
Is this the magic couch?
That's the magic
couch. It's the casting
You should have
couch.
used vinyl. You can wipe that off a lot easier. But anyway.
No, that's the vinyl's the cover that goes over top.
Okay.
This like seasons it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So land of opportunity, man. So you are a golf pro, and tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I'm 42, graduated from Edgewood in '99, at a time where golf was more popular in '99 than it was in '79, but it still wasn't real popular. And then obviously Tiger Woods came onto the scene, and he kind of made golf cool. I got made fun of a lot on the golf team. Not on the golf team, but I got made fun of for being on the golf team. I wasn't a football player, I wasn't a baseball player. I played baseball up until about 16. And I realized I was better at golf, and I love golf more. So, I didn't have my first sip of alcohol until I was about 20 years old. So everybody in high school is going to these parties after the football game on Friday, and I would just golf oriented. I always had a golf club in my hand, even in the wintertime. My neighbors probably thought I was nuts because I would go out there and chip golf balls in the snow, and kind of thing. So, but yeah, golf's always been a part of my life since I was 8. Never had a golf instructor, never had a teacher or anything like that. I was all self-taught. Quite honestly, I never really applied myself. I guess I had some natural talent. Been, pretty much a scratch to one handicap golfer since I was about 17. And I just accepted that's my ability. This is who I am. This is my ability. And then about 2 years ago, I just realized that, I want to be better. And for the first time, I actually learned how to practice. I know a lot of people will go to the driving range or go to the golf course. So first of all, to get better at something, you had to repetition, right? Golf is muscle memory. Golf is a series of making our body move in a certain way. And so a lot of players will go, they'll try to make the effort. So they'll go to the driving range and they'll hit a bucket of balls a couple times a week or whatever. And sometimes they do improve because if you do something long enough, even with a swing flaw, you'll learn your body will just learn how to make an adjustment. So yeah, you'll improve, but a lot of players, golfers won't get to where they want to be, kind of thing. And some people don't want to get better. They're having a great time. They're drinking a 6-pack of beer, and there's nothing wrong with that. I've always been.
That's what I'm there for, is the beer and
Hold up. There's people that drink 6 packs of beer when they golf. That's it?
Well,
I'm not gonna lie. I usually don't get through a whole 6-pack.
Sometimes it's 6-pack per 9. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't average at something, I guess.
I don't go through a whole 6-pack. I probably drink maybe 4.
4?
Yeah.
But
then again, I'm usually driving too. So if I'm out there for 4 hours, it's like a beer an hour, and plus I'm really trying to focus on my game. Like I'm trying to be like Josh over
That's
here.
cute. When there was a golf outing, not to detract from me, but there was a golf outing, the Iron Foundation golf outing. It was me, Olajuwon Cooper, Jared Frayne, and Dave Clemens. We were on a golf team for this Iron Foundation outing. And at the end, I didn't know because I was fucked up. We went in, and the one guy running the table, it was like one of John's buddies because it was the Iron Foundation outing. He goes, "What'd you guys get?" And Olajuwon looks the guy dead in the eye, the scorecard keeper, and went, 12 under. And the guy was like, "No shit. Yeah, that wasn't our golf score. That's just how many beers Tom drank. We need to cut him off." And I ended up passing out on the bar inside of Maple Ridge, and later found out because Jared Frame was keeping everyone's individual score. I was 38 over that day. If I would have just like kept the pace, if it was just me, because I was hitting such bad shots.
Impressive, dude.
Yeah, but I was 12 under for the beer, so I don't understand how people drink a 6-pack. Like, I got to drink 12 or more, man.
Holy shit!
I always tell
like-
people you got to take something positive from the experience.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
You might have shot 120, but did you hit one good shot and wanted to bring you back? You're like, I got to try this again, man. Did you see
That's-
that ball I
that's
hit on
what it
18?
is.
I drove that right down the middle. you
That's
know?
what it is. That's what it is every time, man. Like I think that's the coolest part about golf. Like, so you and I, like, I mean, so obviously, I mean, we met each other a couple years ago from our buddy Trevor Hudson. We found out we have a little bit in common, but we're not going to go there.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of brevity. No, we're not getting into it.
Oh, it's gonna come out.
We're
Let me get you-
Eskimo brothers.
After
let me
the
get you-
cameras are done rolling, we'll
let me
into
get you
it.
another beer or two.
We'll delve into
We're
it.
Eskimo brothers. That's as deep as I'm going to get.
Whoa,
But,
I don't even want to know.
yeah, you don't want to know. But basically, so I mean, we kept it. I mean, like, hey, what's going on, man? You know, and then at this one of the golf outings this year of Trevor's, we get put on a team. You and I, you, me, and Ed Larco. We end up winning the fucking outing because of you. First of all, Eddie claims it was because of his putting, but no, it was because you were bombing 300-yard drives. But anyway, hitting bombs, motherfucker. But you asked me about a car because you find out I'm a car salesman.
Which,
So-
by the way, I appreciate the fact that you didn't try to sell me a car, even though I asked you were a car salesman. You let me pursue it, so I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Nobody,
'cause that's
nobody
just how I
wants to
am.
be bothered playing golf and then be like, oh, you want to sell a car here? Let's make an appointment right now.
Yeah, no, fuck that. I was there to get drunk and
You were there
and
to
golf.
play golf. And,
You're like,
and
fuck
all-
a card.
Yeah.
Talk to me tomorrow.
That's what I said too, actually. But so you come, you test drive cars, and then you were like, hey, like if you want to get better at golf, like let me know and we'll start doing shit. And I think what really drew me to you was your personality, because like just how you said I didn't try to sell you a car, you have never tried to over explain or oversell the game of golf. All you've ever tried to do with me when we've gone out is reinforce that we need to have fun and that golf is a game that's hard. Golf is a game that's really fucking hard. And I think a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people look at golf and they say, hey, I got a big fucking stick right here with a club head on it. And the golf ball
I
is
say that
this
to
big.
myself every fucking day. Bro.
I've never said I have a big stick because I'd be lying to myself. It's a tiny ass ball getting hit by a big head, right? It should be easy. And I think people don't understand just how hard golf is. So you said you started golfing when you were young, 8 years old. When you're 8 years old, I know just from when I was 8 years old and my younger brother, if something was hard, we didn't enjoy it. So what drew you at 8 years old to this game that inevitably frustrated the living shit out of you?
So, just to clarify, it's still frustrating.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
frustrating for the best players in the world.
Yeah.
So I was 8 years old. My dad was probably about 34 years old. He never played golf. His brother started playing golf in high school, played on the golf team for a few years, tried to get my dad to play golf. So my dad, the story he's telling me is, he's 15, 16 years old. His brother, who's been playing on the golf team at Edgewood for a couple of years, takes him out to Chapel Hill. My dad hits the same tree like 3 times in a row, and the ball just comes right back at him. And he's just like, yeah, fuck this,
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if I can say that. But
No,
you can
Yeah.
say whatever you want on
You
here.
can say
dude.
whatever you want on here.
So,
Just no racial slurs.
yeah. So anyway,
I don't want that.
No.
No.
absolutely not. So my dad started golfing when he was 34, and it's funny because he started playing golf. So my dad was an over-the-road truck driver, first of all, when I was a kid. So that was a way for me to bond with my dad. He was an over-the-road truck driver. He was an owner-operator, so he owned the semi. So he was gone Monday through Friday, got back Friday night, Saturday morning, was home, and then leaving again Sunday night. So it was a way for me to bond with my dad. And my mom was what we call a golf widow. She didn't see her husband all week, and then she didn't see him when he came home because he wants to go play golf, So my mom kind of put up with that, I guess, if you want to call that. So they call it a golf widow when your significant other kind of just puts up with your golf addiction, kind of thing. So anyway, I was 8
Makes
years
sense.
old. My dad's going golfing, and so I'm asking if I can go, but I'm interested to go because we get to go in a golf cart.
Yeah.
So my cousins went like that with my uncle, and and a couple of my uncles ended up playing. So I wouldn't say they were golfers per se. Like they don't, to this day, they don't play golf. They went through a stretch of for a couple of years where they went out and hacked the ball around or whatever. They didn't get that golf bug or that addiction. They don't play golf anymore, kind of thing. So, but my dad and me, we kept playing. We kept playing. So, where my cousins wanted to drive the golf cart around with their dads and didn't really want to hit a golf ball. I wasn't really interested in riding a golf cart, even though that was originally why I want to go. I was like, you know what? I don't care about driving the golf cart. I want to jump out and hit a shot, So I'd jump out, and occasionally my dad would let me hit a ball, And then by about 9 years old, next summer, I got my first set of golf clubs, which was unmatched. They weren't a matching set, just from a garage sale. And obviously we had the wooden heads back then.
Yeah.
It's 1989, and so. By age 12, a lot of people don't realize by age 12 for 9 holes, I was shooting at 12 years old, I was probably shooting between 48 to 55 for 9 holes at age 12. Now I was playing the ladies' tee, the women's tee, which I tell people this day, it's not really the women's tee, it's the, what is your ability tee or a 12-year-old. But of course, I want to play the white tee. I want to play so, my dad's like, okay. So I learned to hit the ball kind of far because now I'm playing back, 13, 14 years old. I'm playing, the white tees with my father. And at that point in time, 14 years old, I'm hitting the ball, 215 yards, 220 yards, obviously with roll. And of course, I always wanted to hit the ball further. And that was a certain point in my time where everything was distance oriented for me. And my dad's like, "Don't worry about how far you hit it." My dad couldn't really give me any training or anything because he never got it, a lesson in his life either. So, but that was a way for me to bond with my dad. Plus the fact that I just freaking love the sport anyway. So kind of thing. So my dad was an over the road truck driver for like a long time, and then I got into high school. And ninth grade, I went out for the golf team, made the golf team, played in a couple varsity matches. So I was talented enough in ninth grade to play play on varsity, but I only played 2 varsity matches and I didn't let her because I would get into a position where I would like try too hard. So some of the older kids, so I'm 15 years old or 14 years old in ninth grade, and some of the 16 and 17-year-old at that point in time, just someone that's 2 or 3 years older than you, even a year at that age, can be much stronger. So they're hitting the ball much further, And I guess I would maybe almost try too hard, kind of thing. And then I got picked on a lot in high school. So in 10th grade, I kind of like kept to myself and became ineligible. I couldn't play my 10th grade year. I was like devastated. Like I got a couple D's in class. I'm not the smartest. I'm not the lightest bulb. I don't think I'm stupid, but
No,
I didn't go to college, that kind of thing. So I'm street smart. I'm logical smart. I think logically, kind of thing, So anyway, in 10th grade, I missed the season. I couldn't play in the golf team, and I didn't even know. I started on the practices, and so from ninth grade, I was probably about 14 years old, 15 years old when I first broke 40 for 9 holes. I chipped it on the last hole for a par, and I shot 39. So from 9th to 10th grade, so now in 10th grade, I'm shooting in the 30s all the time. And so high school practice starts in August, beginning of August. And so now I play like 3 practices, and then the coach has to come to me and say, "Hey, man, I'm going to play on a team this year." And I'm like, "What?" So I missed my whole entire 10th grade year. Then I came back my junior year. And I got a lot better at hitting the ball further, but I'm just a better golfer, So like my 9-hole scoring average. So my golf coach, Paul Blum at the time. So Tim Essig, who was a teacher. Tim Essig. He was a teacher at Edgewood, and it's funny because my at 42 years old, my best times in life were those high school times. Even though I got made fun of a lot and stuff like that, just golf isn't just about the sport. It's about the camaraderie out on the golf course and the razzing your friends and stuff like that. And I still look back, and my best times in life was those high school golf match days, man. Those were the best times. So I went from 9th grade to in 9th grade I was capable of shooting in the high 30s, but I had to play really well. to shoot that. And then, when it came time to actually compete in the high school matches, now I'm kind of almost like choking a little bit, and I'm shooting 42 or 43. And, my at the time, Tim Essig was the high school golf coach. And he knew I was talented enough. He's like, "Hey, man, you're trying to compete with these kids that hit it further than you. He always said, play your own game, play your own game." And so as you get older, you have to play your own game. I can't hit it as far as a touring professional, but there's a lot of golfers that I play with, my friends of mine, and we'll go into a par 3 and they'll be like, "What'd you hit there?" "Well, I got 180 yards. I hit a 6-iron." So they're pulling a 6-iron. I'm like, "Man, you don't hit a 6-iron 180 yards." And quite honestly, that's okay.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they look at your scorecard. They don't say, "Well, did you have to hit a 5-wood when that guy was hitting a 4-iron, or did you have to hit a 4-iron when that guy was hitting a 6-iron? What did you shoot?
Yeah.
What did you shoot?" You know what I mean? It's the score at the end of the day, at the end of a golf tournament, they don't. Who won?
Yeah.
Who won? It don't matter how you
absolutely.
won. And so, not to get off track, it's still golf. But anyway, to go back towards high school, now I'm a junior and I'm the star of the golf team. I was number 1 man my junior and senior year, and I probably would have been a 2 or 3 man my sophomore year. But obviously, I didn't end up playing golf because I was
Grades.
ineligible in grades. Yeah, so. Which is actually kind of interesting because, not to get off subject, but Tiger Woods' mom and his parents always stressed grades before you can go and practice, kind of thing, So, but anyway, there's nothing to substitute, for getting a good education. Get a good education. And there's all kinds of ways to make money in this world, and you don't have to go to college per se. There's great trade schools, but back to the golf. So I'm a junior now, and my scoring average is like 37 point whatever. I don't know the exact number, 37.5 or 6 or whatever. So, so I've always been a very, very hard on my sleeve kind of person, right?
Sure.
So I would play a high school match, and especially my junior year, play a high school match, and I was number 1 man, and so I had to wait for the rest of the team to come, and they always wanted to know, what did Josh shoot? What did Josh shoot? And, I might have shot 33. One time I shot 32. I shot 300 par at Maple Ridge, is par 35 on the one side, and it was on aerated greens. So, the greens are all bumpy. But anyway, they always want to know what I shot. That would be the first thing that the rest of the guys would come in. You got 6 players. You got your 1 man, 2 man, 3, 4, 5, 6 man. And that was the first thing they walked off. Be like, "Krause, what did you shoot?" And whatever I shot, it might have been 38, it might have been 34. And every time I would say it, they would look at me and be like, so let's just say I shot 34, they would look at me and be like, "You're not happy with that, are you?" I'd be like, "No. I made a couple stupid shots. I should have been 32 or whatever." So it was always like, well, it could have been better. It could have been better, but it can always be better.
Always.
It can always be better, It doesn't matter what sport you're playing. I could have been better out there on the gridiron. I could have been better out there on the baseball diamond, but they could tell, and I didn't know I was putting off this vibe, but they could tell my disgust. I just shot 2 under, but I 3-putted the last hole to shoot 34 instead of 33, and they're like, "Why can't you just be happy with that?" And I was always like, it should have been better. It could have been better.
When you can do better, it's hard to accept anything less.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we should, not just in golf, in every aspect of our life, we can be better, we can do better, and we can always strive for that. We should strive for that, even though we may never actually hit where we want to be. So anyway, then the senior year rolls around, and I'm the star of the golf team again. I'm the number 1 guy, and some of the seniors beforehand left, and so our team was a little weaker. We had a great team. So we had a great team our junior year. We had a good team our senior year, but our junior year, Conneaut ended up coming in first place. So
Fuck Conneaut.
So it was actually quite interesting. So the final tournament of the year was 18 holes. We're playing Maple Ridge, and I literally 3-putt the last hole, and I knock it on in 2, obviously, and I 3-putt for bogey when I could have just. So I kind of felt like I let the whole team down, kind of thing like that. But then, the senior year rolls around, and I actually had a better year my junior year. My scoring average is 37 point something. In my senior year, my 9-hole scoring average was like 38 point whatever. I don't remember the exact, but I have a pretty good idea of what it was. But anyway, it was great. I always look back to that time, and so I remember my dad saying, "I wish I could be a kid again. I wish I could be a kid again." And I never really understood that. But as you get older, and this is a little off subject with golf, but it's life. We're talking about life here too.
Well, golf and life are very intertwined.
Well, it is because of the fact that there's so many up and downs in a round of golf, just like life. Just like life. So I've some of my best rounds of golf have actually been starting off with a double bogey in the first hole. Some of my best rounds of golf have been 200 or 300 par for 9 holes, but I started off with double, and it's like, but then again, it's like, shit, it should have been better. It could have been better. I want it to be better, kind of thing. But yeah, I look back on the life so far at this point, and my bet, and I've had a lot of good times, ups and downs. Everybody does. My best times were those high school, that junior and senior year of high school, just the friendships and just to play in the high school golf, just that competitiveness, And for me, I think everybody probably has some sort of competitiveness. It's just what is your poison? For me, it's golf, because that's something I'm good at, so I can be competitive. I can't do shit on the basketball court. You ever seen the movie White Man Can't Jump?
That's you?
That's me. That's me, baby.
But
I
isn't that
can't
a
jump. I
success
can't
story?
dribble.
That's a success story for
Some
the white man, though, isn't it?
Some 5'2" person
Kind of.
dribble underneath my legs and going around circles around me. I can't play basketball. I can't do it. So naturally, I'm not a huge basketball fan. But that's just because I'm not good at it. But there's people that aren't good at sports that are huge fans of the sport.
Dude, I love what you said though. Like how some of your best memories, like double bogey, that's how you start around. So when I first started getting before I got golf lessons from you, I started getting from a guy named Mike Pickett. Mike's a PGA professional. He really helped me get confidence back with golf. And one of the first times I went out golfing after my lessons was alone. And I did great on 9. Great for me. You know what I mean? But I did it alone. Right? So on the way home, I'm all pumped. I'm all excited. You know what I mean?
We saw it didn't happen, Tom.
Well, that's the thing though, Anthony. None of you, you, David, Willie, Justin, you guys weren't there. And in golf, I'm not golfing to become Tiger Woods, right? I'm not doing that. And I'm never gonna do that. But what I'm doing when I golf, I'm out there to make a memory, right? I'm out there to be with my friends. My bachelor party. Remember, we were at Madison Country Club. And we had a blast of a fucking time. It was crazy. It was
do I remember any
crazy. But that's I want to get better at golf, right? But I'm not gonna remember what I shot August 9th, 2019, right? But you know what I am gonna remember? I'm gonna remember Anthony shotgunned a fucking thing of cinnamon Fireball, and Willie was smoking a cigar and burned his fucking shorts. You know what I'm saying? And he flipped out about it. That's what I'm gonna remember. And the cool thing about golf now too is so 2 Christmases ago, me and my buddy David Clemens, it was right before Christmas. It was 2 days before Christmas, and I needed to get a couple more things for my wife. So we go out to the Menor Mall, right? We go to Dick's because I had some extra cash, and I was like, it's Christmas sale. I'm going to buy myself some golf balls. And Clemens and I are talking, and I'm like, I don't know what to get Megan. I don't know what to get her. And he's just being David, and he just goes, get her a fucking set of golf clubs, bro. And he starts laughing, and I'm like, why the fuck not? Right? So I get her a set of Top Flights. They were a $300 set on sale for $100. At that point, if she doesn't like them, I just have an extra set of clubs.
It was $100.
It was $100. I give them to my wife Christmas morning at my parents' house. I'm never gonna forget this as long as I live. Right? She opens it up and she just looks and she's like, "What the fuck am I gonna do with this?" And my mom, actually, my mother, God bless her, she goes, "Oh, Megan, you're gonna have some." And my mom, seeing that it's important to me, really gets excited. She's like, "Megan, you're gonna have so much fun, yada yada." Well, my wife, we go to Lake Effects. They have that golf simulator, right? We go with our buddy Justin. And she can't hit it. She can't hit the ball. Finally, after like 2 hours, she finally made fucking contact. And I've never seen my wife get so excited, right? Now my wife is a
Ever?
ever. I mean, this is what we're working with, man. This is what we're working with.
And
All right.
unless it's Aquino Productions, right?
Quentin Productions. Unless it's Quentin Productions. Then she doesn't get excited. But she got so excited. She got so pumped because she hit a ball flush. And it's a simulator. So, I mean, it exaggerated the fuck out of how far she hit it. But then she says, I want to go golfing with you one day. And I'm like, kind of like, fuck. Because that's like me and my buddy's time, you know? But dude, like, the look on my wife's face when she got out there and she hit that drive, and it was a dog shit shot. I mean, I love you, dear, but your first hit, I'm never going to forget it. It was so fucking bad. Like, I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to say. Like, I can't lie to her and tell her good job, you know what I mean? But she's
Dribbled it off the tee. Good shot, hon.
But dude, she kept trying and adjusting. And she finally, like the third hole of the day, she hit a flush shot. It didn't go very far. It probably went about 50, 60 yards. But it went up in the air. And it was not, it was, if it would have been a harder hit, it would have been beautiful.
Right.
But she got it. And now I'm making the memories with my wife, dude. Like memories I would have never had. We're on golf courses together. And so when you talk about those times going back to high school and now you're making memories because you're helping people, man. Like, how crazy is it for you? Like, you were a great golfer, and you still are. I've golfed with you many times now, and dude, the shit you do on a golf course, like you say, oh, fuck, I topped it. And I think to myself, I fucking wish I could top it that good. You know what I mean? Because I top it, and it goes 5 yards. Josh hits it. Oh, I fucking topped it. It went 120 yards in the fucking air, and I'm like, no, that's a fucking top. What the fuck am I doing? You know, but like, how
By the
crazy...
way, have I ever actually topped the ball when we played?
Never. No, you haven't. But so how crazy is it for you, like when you see like, and it doesn't have to, because I know you and you've been working with me, and like tomorrow we're having a lesson. Like, but how crazy is it like when you actually have someone that listens to you and applies what you say? How good does it feel for you that like you're helping them in this game?
You know, I think the first thing you can't forget really is 99.9% of golf is recreational golf.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes we get caught up with, watching the guys on TV and stuff.
Yeah.
They're really, really talented. There's just such a small percentage of people. But who keeps the sport alive? It's not professional golfers. It's you and I, or just recreational golfers, he keeps all equipment of manufacturers in business. It's not touring guys. They don't buy their equipment. They get it for free. And get paid money on top of it. So first of all, there's a big difference between being a professional golfer and a golf professional. A professional golfer is these guys that we see on TV who they make a living from playing a sport, and that's awesome that they're talented enough to that.
Can you say that one more time? So there's a difference between being a golf professional and a professional golfer.
Yeah, so professional golfers, Tiger Woods, Matthew Wolff, Justin Thomas, these guys we watch every weekend on TV.
Professional
I fucking idolize them.
Okay.
Like,
And golf professionals is a whole lot different. So like being we call it like being a golf professional or a club professional will be your local professional at the golf course. A lot of them they're very talented and they're better than the average golfer, but they're not to that level of being on TV. And so like the PGA organization, their slogan or their motto is growing the game. Well, what does that actually mean, growing the game? Well,
explain that. Yeah.
If you're
You've said it
if
to
you're
me
not
so many
bringing,
times.
so there's a circle of life. We're not going to be here forever, so people are going to pass on. So if we don't continually bring new people into the sport, it's going to die.
Yeah.
That's with any sport,
Mm-hmm.
If nobody starts playing golf again, and all of us, go through the circle of life, who's going to carry on the sport?
Yeah.
Golf courses are going to close. So growing the game is the motto. That's the slogan of the PGA. So that's a PGA golf professional. You know, your pro at your local driving range, your course. That is their biggest, you know, thing is introducing the game. So you know, I'm working out at Geneva on the Lake golf course, and I'm working at Erie Shores golf course, and by the way, I'm not a Class A PGA member, so there's an actual apprenticeship to go through to become a PGA golf professional, which is different than being a touring professional. So I started that process at some point in time, and life just takes you in different
Takes you
directions.
in different places.
And quite honestly, I at a young age and up till pretty recently, I was always very money motivated. And I'm not saying it's wrong to be money motivated, but it's very hard, for at least for me, and probably a lot of people feel like this. It's very hard to be good at something if you're not actually passionate about that something.
That's true.
That's very
So-
true.
100%.
So, for example, I've done a lot of manufacturing work. I've worked at a couple of the local chemical plants and stuff like that. It was hard for me to be good at that because the whole time I never actually wanted to be there. You know, I was going for a paycheck. So I think the people that are the best at what they do and whatever it is that they do, they're passionate. You can't fake being passionate about something. So, you know, you're trying to fake being a factory worker. And don't get me wrong, I come from blue collar workers. There's nothing wrong with putting food on the table for your family. And if that's the career, I'm not saying that's a bad career choice.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, we have choices in life, and so it's very hard to be successful at something that you're not actually passionate about. I know a lot of people that hate their job and they might make a lot of money, but they still hate going to work every single day. And I'm kind of caught in between right now, you know. So I started off in golf. So to become a PGA club professional or a PGA golf professional, which obviously is different than a touring professional, you have to be talented. You have to. The PGA has a 36-hole, 2 18-hole round, 1 round playing test. It's a playing test, and so you have to be able to play to a certain ability to be a PGA golf professional. And you know, I passed that. In the first 3 attempts, I didn't pass it. So they call it choking or whatever. You have
Now hold up. When you say you have that playing test, is that on any golf course, or does that have to be like a certain course? Like could you go to Maple Ridge right now and take that test?
No.
Okay.
So it's organized by the PGA. The PGA hosts it. So the PGA of America is all over the United States. And it's divided into sections. So like this right now, this part of the country is the Northern Ohio section of the PGA, and so every year they'll host 10 or 12 sites for the PGA called the PAT, Playing Ability Test.
Where's the closest one to here?
You'd have to go on the website. I mean,
Okay.
they're not too far away, but they have them at random golf courses. So that's the first step of being a PGA club professional or a PGA golf professional, which again is not the same as being a PGA touring professional. So obviously you have to be skilled, but not to that level. If every golf professional had to be to the skill level of a touring professional, we wouldn't have any golf professionals. You know what I mean? So what people don't really realize is being a golf professional, your main source of income isn't from playing golf. It's from managing a golf facility, whether it be a driving range or a golf course, private or public or resort. And then obviously promoting the game of golf, offering so your golf professional, your local PGA golf professional, let's say a private club in Erie, the Cockle Club. You're gonna have like a head golf professional, and you're gonna have some assistant golf professionals, and those assistant golf professionals could be PGA members already, or they could be apprentices, which we now call PGA associates, working towards what's called your Class A card. So, what's the main job of a golf professional other than growing the sport? Well, he's managing a golf facility. So, golf professionals don't always just play golf every day like people think that's what they do. Is they have balls
Wait a
and
minute.
play golf every day. So. A golf professional is going to offer different, programs, hopefully some sort of instructional programs. And obviously he's going to run the facility and run different tournaments for the members, obviously at a private
You don't play
club.
golf every day?
No, but I try to. Let's put it this way. I have a golf club in my hand every day. So what I try to tell people is so a lot of people that want to get better at golf, Some people don't want to get better at golf; they just want to have a good time, which there's nothing wrong with that. And then there's the more maybe sports athletic type people that played on the football team or baseball team, and now they're playing golf at this point. They want to get better. Okay, so my question is, okay, what are you actually doing to get better? Okay, so are you just trying to play golf more often? That's not really going to get you better. So everybody can have swing flaws and learn to make adjustments. And so if you do something more, yes, you are going to get better at it.
Yes.
You are going to get better. But at the same time, okay, so what are you truly doing to get better at golf? Okay, if you're just playing golf, you need to hit a lot of golf balls. You can't hit a lot of golf balls on the golf course. You have to hit a bucket. You go to the driving range, you should buy a bucket of large balls, and you hit 100 balls. You're not going to hit 100 balls in 9 holes of golf. You got to hit a lot of balls.
I don't know, man. I've hit 100 balls in 9 holes before, though. I mean, I really have. And it's like tomorrow. That's our plan. Is I'm buying 100 balls, if not more, and we're going at it. I mean,
but we're also going with a purpose.
Yeah,
and I've already put you on film.
Yep.
So golf instruction has, just like golf has evolved. It used to be looked down upon where lifting weights was bad for golf. Well, there's that if you want to call it gray, there's that point where if you become muscle bound, you're not going to be flexible. You're not going to be able to swing a golf club very effectively.
Then Bryson DeChambeau came around and just fucking shattered that notion.
He did, but at the same time, let's just say he was big as Arnold Schwarzenegger in his heyday.
I mean,
that wouldn't be conducive to making a good golf swing. But anyway, fitness is great for golf, especially anything that increases your flexibility. There's certain positions we have to get in, to hit a golf ball successfully, consistently. So anyway, golf instruction has evolved. You take a top instructor in the 1970s, okay, an average instructor now is going to be as good, maybe even better than that instructor, because of the technology. You can't. There's certain things you can't see certain positions a player is in when he's swinging a stick 100 mile an hour. You can't see
exactly. That's what you were saying earlier. You can't tell it. I don't swing at 100 miles an hour, but the thing is you can't tell me everything unless you had that equipment or that. Like, iPhone has completely changed the game, man. Like, when we were at the golf course at Geneva on the Lake 2-3 weeks ago, you took some video of me, and just in the one video when you were showing like different, like there were like lines he was setting, right? And he was showing me like just from a picture, he could see exactly what I was doing wrong while I was slicing a ball. And he said, you gotta cock your I think it was my right shoulder back a little bit more.
Yeah,
lean
so you're
forward.
you're setting up like an average golfer. You're set up with your shoulders open.
And then once he showed me what to do, it wasn't an immediate fix, but like 2-3 holes later, I wasn't slicing anymore. I wasn't going very far, but I was going straight. And that's the crazy thing about golf, man, is like just that one fucking little thing can change the entire trajectory of someone's day. And even then, it's not just their day, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you tell me how to do that, and I'm going to go home. Now, I'm fortunate enough where I was able to buy a golf simulator, right? So I go home and I practice that fucking shit. And I'm just a repetition. And my wife saying to me, like, what are you doing out here? You're not even, like, hitting a ball. I'm like, but no, Josh is saying, if I line up this way and I do it this way, it's going to go straighter. The power's going to come, but if I can do it this way, it's going to be better for me. It's going to be better down the road.
See, I relate it a lot to basketball. Mm-hmm. So I've always loved basketball my whole life, and I would say and it's unfortunate, but I really didn't I don't want to say perfect because I still miss, but I didn't really hone in my skills for my long distance shots until I was older. And I can tell whenever I shoot a basketball and I miss, I know what I did wrong. Mm-hmm. And I know that next shot, all I have to do is really focus on, really focus on what I need to do. There's a couple things elbow straight, get some elevation, use my knees to jump, follow through with the wrist, all of that. like if I focus on the core fundamentals of shooting that basketball, it will go in.
Absolutely.
And I relate golf to that because whenever I take a swing, for me it takes a little bit longer for golf because I just don't play that shit enough to know. But like if I hit enough golf balls, I can see, okay, I must be, I'm my tracking, my line, my swing is straight, but it's still going off to the right. I know I'm probably either coming at it with an open club face or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I can kind of tell what I'm doing wrong based off of things that I do to correct what I'm doing wrong. And if it's still not working, then obviously that wasn't the problem, or it was, but it wasn't the only problem.
And it's awesome that you're able to reconcile that because so Josh is talking about growing the game of golf, right?
Yes.
But it's not just growing the game with younger people, right? It's about growing the game with people our age. You're 42.
Anybody
we're
wants to learn
33.
how to play golf, hey.
But see, here's the cool thing, Josh.
They're like 70, 80-year-olds still playing golf.
Yes. And that's what I was literally just about to say. We recently, it's not a secret. If you've been living under a rock, I feel bad for you, but we just went through a fucking pandemic where everyone was locked at home, right? Nowhere was open, but you know where was open? The golf course. And what happened? No one could go to the fucking YMCA and play basketball. Everyone was too fucking chicken shit to go. And if you were, hey, I don't mean chicken shit, but what I'm saying is no one wanted to be around each other. So what could you do? Well, you could find a fucking set of clubs on eBay if you wanted to do some sports and go out and fucking golf.
Because nobody's hitting in the same spot.
Nobody's hitting in the same
You're 5
spot.
fairways over, I'm down the middle.
And dude, I missed the pandemic so fucking much because I didn't have to ride in a golf cart with anyone. I love you. I love David, Justin, everyone. But listen, there is nothing like being in a golf cart by yourself, man. My fat ass is sitting in the golf cart. I got a case of beer next to me. I got 2 cigars there, and I'm living, baby. That was the best part of the pandemic for me. I didn't have to be near anyone, and my shot damn sure wasn't near anyone else's because it was far as fuck to the right. You guys were on the fucking fairway. You sons of bitches were in the fairway, and I'm over there in the fucking woods. Yeah, it's going to be a nice little punch out with my 8-iron there, guys. Don't worry about it. And I never forget you guys, you ain't punch out with your 8-iron, Tom. You're still going to fucking 9-putt it. Don't worry about it. I ain't give a fuck, But that grew the game of golf. The pandemic grew the pandemic was the best thing for golf.
It did. I worked at Erie Shores and I was an assistant golf professional at Little Mountain, and there's just it brought a lot of people into golf that didn't golf before.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened, but it just happened, and it's awesome. It makes me happy. When you're passionate about something, you want to share it with somebody.
Fuck yeah, you
know what
do.
I mean? And there's gonna be people that don't want to listen. We had to say, okay, fine, go do your thing. You want to know about golf? Here, let's talk about it. You know. And so I love golf, and there's a whole bunch of reasons I love it. You know what I mean? It's the being out there with friends and making memories, and it's the camaraderie and the joking around and be like, well, you made another double there, but whatever it is. But it's all my best memories in life, whether it be with my dad or my friends, a lot of, not all the time, but a lot of times it's around the game of golf. I've met people I wouldn't have been friends with, but we met because that's how we met.
That's how we met, man. We met on the golf course.
And so it's just a really awesome sport. And sort of one of the new slogans, or a lot of the PGA stuff's talking about now, is golf. Make golf your thing. Make golf your thing. But it is, though. You don't see too many 75-year-olds dribbling on the basketball court. But if you stay in relatively good health, and golf carts. By the way, I used to walk all the time, and I recommend everybody try to at least play golf walking one time.
I loved it when
because
I did
that is how golf really was invented. It is
But
special.
Why? Just because that's how they used to do it, or
it's I don't know. It's hard to explain, but just when you're walking out there. So I actually play golf better when I walk, and the reason why is it gives me an opportunity. So if you're riding in a golf cart, you hit a bad shot, right, and you're to your ball in a minute and a half or whatever.
So it gives you time to think about it.
But if you're walking, you have an opportunity too, and not everybody does because some people they're not serious golfers, but I'm trying on every shot. So a lot of people don't really realize it. So there's a thing called the 19th hole. You know what the 19th hole is? It's the bar. It's the bar in the clubhouse afterwards. So a lot of people are like, you don't drink when you play golf. I'm like, no, this is serious time for me. And some of my friends and some people, they don't understand that, and they're like, don't you want to have fun? I'm like, it's fun when I shoot 69 and I shoot 300. That's a lot of fun. But if I just drank 12 beers, I ain't shooting 69. At least not on 18 holes. Maybe on 9.
Maybe not on the golf course. You're not shooting 69.
Right. So yeah, I have shot some 69s, but it wasn't on the golf course for sure. But anyway, and so there are, there's different expectations, and things like that. But my best times are obviously evolved around golf. But I don't really, I'm not saying never, but I very seldom will drink alcohol on the golf course because it doesn't matter if I'm just having a leisure round or when I used to play in the PGA Club Pro tournaments. It's game time, baby. It's game time.
Well, when we
come back,
it doesn't mean I'm not having fun just because I'm focused. I'm having fun as the guy who just drunk off his ass, falling out of the golf cart.
Does that come back to you being competitive, like where you said play your own game? Are you competing against yourself, or are you just like why is it such as, even whenever you're, like you said, it's just a leisure round?
So I always
why is it so like?
I always have expectations, right?
Yeah.
I always have expectations of myself. So obviously, if I'm playing with you guys, obviously you don't play to my ability. So I'm not being competitive with you on the golf course. There's not really a competition there,
right?
You know what I mean, between skill levels. Unless I'm playing with someone of my skill level or
suck,
better. but
Josh pretty much just said you guys
but yes, I'm playing the golf course. I'm playing par. I'm playing old man par.
Yeah.
Old man par is 71 at Village Green or 72. So I'm playing old man par. So yeah, I'm trying to kick his ass, and a lot of times he kicks my ass, but sometimes I prevail, And so it feels it's golf is one of those games where it doesn't matter what your skill level is. There's a level, there's something there that is fulfilling at the end of the day. And sometimes it's not fulfilling because you're beating your head against the wall like, how the fuck did I just shoot 70-9? You know what I mean? When I shot fucking 69 the week before, pardon my French. But
Dude, you can say, like I said,
say whatever the fuck you want here.
This is open dialogue.
You know what's
It's
crazy?
not gonna be edited. This is like fucking
This is off the rip. This is us bullshitting. So you were talking about like competing and so I played college baseball and we played pretty high level. Like our team was good, right? Now I wasn't like a super key contributor, but I played a role and I played it pretty well. Okay.
You made a team, so you weren't too fucking shabby.
Well, it's Division III. Anyone could fucking get on. I paid to get into that college. Okay, so I mean, like, I wore number 61. I was a pitcher. I was overweight. I had 41 plate appearances. I had 1 hit.
Are you left-handed? You could be in John Crook.
No, I wasn't left-handed, but I was a pretty decent pitcher. And we went to the playoffs, and for 2 straight years. And I remember going out there in my jersey, cap on, knee-high socks, new swag, everything like that.
You felt drippy, didn't you?
I felt drippy as fuck, bro. So listen, I'm looking at the fucking people in the stands, right?
Did you wave?
Magic.
Did you do one of these?
I didn't. I didn't because I was so nervous. But it was sick, right? But last year, I was at a Trevor's golf outing, and it was me, Justin, a good buddy of mine, Justin Mixer, good buddy of mine, Dave Clemens, and a buddy of ours, Mike Parsons. We were in content. We tied for the win at this outing, and it was a playoff hole at 9. And everyone comes outside to watch the playoff because at 9 at Geneva on the Lake is right out the back of the golf course.
Great par 3 coming in.
Great par 3.
Everybody, people don't play golf. They're doing a beer crawl at Geneva on the Lake. They want to watch these golfers come in.
And it was packed, and everyone's watching and everyone's talking. And I swear to God, dude, that golf thing you're talking about, walk the course, it's beautiful when you do that. And when you look and you see those people look, dude, it was more impactful in my life, and I'm not even joking, seeing those people at a fucking golf outing where I'm like 12 beers deep, I can hardly stand up, but I'm golfing in front of all these people, and people are watching me fucking tee off. That was more impactful to me than being in the college baseball playoff.
How was the pressure?
the pressure. So I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't really care. I'm a grown man. You guys can watch you watch the podcast. You can talk shit, get hit. I had a little piss dribble come down my leg, and Justin Mixer. Justin saw it. It kind of just a little stream. Like, it was just a little bit, just a little bit, little dab. And he looked at me and he goes,
dried before it got to your ankle?
It did. He looks at me and he goes, "It'll dry, baby. It'll dry." and I was like, "Fuck yeah, it will." And I hit driver. It's like you said earlier. It don't fucking matter if you hit a driver, if you hit a fucking 9-iron on that. I hit a driver, and I crushed that motherfucker. I don't know how, but I crushed it. We ended up losing the playoff. But when people started clapping and cheering when I smacked that drive, because people knew my golf ability, you know what I mean? They're like, Tom's not that great. Like, he's really just on this team, and the other three were good, and he's
Tom, you
just
can't
there.
even say that. Like, sometimes you have some really, especially your chip game, bro.
I know my chip game's good.
Your chip game's pretty decent.
But what I'm getting at is like, that was more impactful to me in my life. And, like, I've told my wife stories about, like, the college playoffs and shit like that. And she's like, okay, like, that's cool. But when she said to me, like, your eyes just light up when you tell that story about teeing off to win the playoff at Trevor's outing. Or when I came home and I told her, like, hey, like, me, Josh, and Eddie won, and it was cold as fuck, and it was raining, but Josh fucking smacked this ball, and then I putted it in. And she's told me, she's like, your eyes light up more when you talk about that. And I don't think it's because it's more recent. I don't think it's because I'm an adult. I think it's because it's what you've been saying this entire night about how golf is just that sport that it doesn't matter your skill level. It doesn't matter your, like, what clubs you have. It doesn't matter what ball you're hitting. It doesn't matter if you're wearing a fucking Nike polo or an Izod polo. What matters is that you're out there and you're enjoying that game and you're trying to grow yourself within that game. Because growing your game of golf isn't just growing if you can hit the club, right? I feel, in my mind, growing your game, not the game of golf, but your own individual game, is growing as a person. Growing and understanding that maybe not every hit's going to be great. Maybe you're going to slice a few. Maybe you're going to draw a few. But at the end of the day, it's all in how you react to that shit, man. It's all in how you can react, go up and hit that next shot. Because in life, what do? We stumble, right? Like, sometimes, like, you might argue with your wife. What do you do after you argue with your wife? What's your next hit? Are you going to continue to argue with her? Or are you going to find a step to fucking rectify the situation? Maybe you don't admit that you're wrong, but maybe you admit that you could handle it differently.
Never admit you're wrong.
No, never admit that you're wrong. I love you, Megan, but I'm never wrong. Anyway, when we were at Geneva on the Lake this last time, I was hitting it pretty good the last couple holes on that 18 when I started to get a hang of it a little bit more. But that last hole, I couldn't hit because I couldn't fucking see the ball, right? But the whole time, I'm like, dude, what am I doing wrong? And you just kept telling me, don't worry about it, just fucking hit it. And that kind of finally made me realize it doesn't matter. Like, it's just how are you going to react to the situation that you're put in? I could have, remember, I don't know if you remember, but, like, I was about to break 100 for, like, the first time.
Right.
And I was pumped as fuck. And I ended up at 110 because I fucking hit 11 on hole 18. But at the end of the day, and I'm kind of complaining to you about it, and you were just like, not in these words, but you're like, what's the big deal? Like, let's get out, let's get better. And that's the great thing about golf, man. That's the great thing. You're a very good golfer. I respect what you have to say. And for you to tell me, we're just going to get better, dude. So who fucking cares what you shot July 18th at 5:30 p.m. at Geneva on the Lake? What are you going to hit the next round? You know?
What I try to tell people when they say, what did I do wrong
God, I'm
there?
long-winded tonight. I'm sorry. Go.
Cheers again.
Cheers again.
Oh, wait.
You don't have a fucking beer.
Yes, I do, fool.
I feel like the whole
Dude.
show, I'm the only one.
Bro, I've drank
No,
three.
you're not. Well,
I've drank three.
No, but the thing is we still going?
Mhm.
You know, the thing is when people ask me, like, if I'm giving a golf lesson, they're like, what did I do wrong there? I'm like, well, you did something different wrong each fucking swing.
Yeah.
Like, you just hit a bad shot, but the last time you hit a bad shot, but you did two different things wrong. Because why? Because golf's a really hard fucking sport.
It's hard as
really
fuck.
fucking hard. You know?
It's hard.
The consistency is the hard part.
It is. And so, like we were talking about earlier, what are you actually doing to get better? So, I'm not doubting people want to get better at things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And some people don't want to get better at golf. They're okay. But if some people are like, I want to get better. Like, well, here's my thing, okay? You're not actually, if you go to the driving range and you start going 3-4 times a week or whatever, and you're just hitting balls. If you're not putting your swing on video, if you're not using some sort of training aid or doing some sort of drill, or at least attempting to do these things, and maybe you haven't worked with a swing coach or an instructor, but you've watched some videos or whatever, and maybe you're trying to do some of the stuff you learned. If you don't have alignment sticks and training aids and setting up the hitting stations, you're just reinforcing your already bad habits.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the golf swing. It's very complicated. So you have to train your golf swing in segments or sections. Okay. So it all starts with a setup. Okay. Well, when do we start working on my backswing? When are we going to start working on my backswing? When are we going to start working on setting the club right at the top of the swing? When you get the setup right.
Yeah.
Balance. What people. So it just depends on the level of the person, the level of the player. You know how technical I'm getting. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about certain things with someone that's a 20 handicapper or whatever. At this point in time, I'm just trying to get them to do something.
So I've always been confused as fuck about how this. What exactly is a handicap, and how do you know your handicap?
So each golf course is.
If
If you go through here, up to the gate, to the left.
I'll be back.
I gotta take a fucking piss too, but.
All right, you explain handicap while we wait for Tom to come back and take a piss.
No, but like your handicap is so. For example, like if I pull out my phone here, I keep my USG handicap with the USG handicap app. So each golf course is most likely granted a slope rating and a slope rating and a slope and a rating. So the higher the slope in the rating, the more difficult the golf course. So for example, if you a freaking multi-billionaire and you're a member at Augusta National Golf Club and you shoot an average of 74, okay, and Joe Smith shoots 74 all the time at Village Green, you're obviously not at the same level. Shooting 74 at Augusta National is a lot more harder.
Is that a harder course?
Yeah, exactly. We're the player they play the Masters at.
Okay.
So, for example, if I bring up my my GIN, which is just my USGA handicap. So, first of all, to get an accurate handicap, you have to post all your scores. So you have like two different types of players. You have what we call a sandbagger, who is actually better than his handicap reflects, because normally handicaps really come into play at private clubs, because a lot of the tournaments so the handicap system was developed so golfers of different abilities could still compete. We're talking about like amateur golfers.
Right.
Obviously, there's no handicaps involved on PGA. What you shoot is what you shoot. You know what I mean? If you're a member at the Cockle Club in Erie and you're an 8 handicap and Joe Smith's a 2 handicap and you guys are playing a match, you're an 8, he's a 2, he's going to give you 6 shots. So if you look on a scorecard, golf holes will be ranked, like the one handicap hole, two handicap hole, 3 ranked into difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, if you're getting 6 shots, you're going to get 6 shots.
So if it's like let's say I don't know what they go up to. Let's say a handicap at 3 on that hole. So if I get, and it's a par 4, if I get a 7, so my handicap would be like, would that essentially be a par?
So
I guess.
No. So first of all, like if you look at my stats right here, my handicap. So your course handicap and your handicap index are a little different. Okay. So for example, my scoring average is on 18 holes is 75.9. That's my 18-hole scoring average. My handicap index currently is a 2.2, which is probably higher than it's actually probably higher than what my ability really is, but that's regardless of the point.
You're a
So,
sandbagger.
so for example, most golf courses are rated. So for example, you'll be able to go to say like Little Mountain. I gotta piss like a fucking race.
All right, we'll come back. We'll
Where's
come
this
back
thing at now? Where's the
Stairs, make a right.
through the
follow
gate.
to the left.
All right.
Yep.
My bladder's going.
Beers deep, bro.
Yeah,
So
doing pretty good.
I'm a handicap, like 40. You said.
Damn.
No, that shit's so confusing to me. I still don't get it. If any of you know how handicap works, please let us know in the comments because I still don't get it. If you got a good link, put it in the fucking comments because I still don't get it. Please help me
Yo,
out.
all I know is on PGA Tour 2K21, I'm a plus 14.9 handicap, and I came in third in the Barstool Classic. So yeah, on fucking Xbox One, it was pretty sweet. I won like $100 at the Barstool merch store, where I just bought Frank the Tank merch. I mean, if you guys don't know, Frank the Tank's just this fat piece of shit that works for Barstool. And he's a big New York Mets fan, so I just wanted to buy a bunch of Frank the Tank merchandise.
Yo, can we give a quick shout out, bro? Look at
who?
we got JR Tubbs from
Yeah.
episode 3.
Episode 2.
Episode 2. Look, we got his stuff hanging up here. We got
Drip.
a nice gift from episode 4 from Bart. And we got your wife did a sign again. Brought that to the new studio.
Yep. We got my wife's the cut episode 5, Josh Krause right there. I mean, every week she's throwing the new thing up there, which I appreciate the fuck out of her for doing that.
Hell yeah,
because,
dude.
I mean, she's talented, man. She knows
Look at that
what she's
artistry.
doing.
Look at that. Look at those letters, bro. Like that's
I mean,
she definitely hooks it up.
That's artistry.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's the love of my life, man.
I would get frustrated and just break the chalkboard.
I think she's gotten close.
Yeah.
So anyway, we were talking about handicap.
Yes,
so,
sir.
So basically, the USGA, the United States Golf Association, will come out and rate a golf course. So there's different, and I don't know all the criteria, but obviously, if you're shooting 72 every day at Village Green versus 72 at Beachmont Country Club, where I work at, 72 at Beachmont Country Club takes a lot more skill to shoot 72 there than 70. So golf courses will be assigned a course rating. And
So if I wanted to find my handicap, how would I go about it?
well, you'd you'd want to get a USGA handicap, so you could find a golf course, for example, that has a USGA Gin handicap system, and basically every time you play golf, and it's important to do it every time you play golf. So you have two kinds of people. So we were talking about country club golf, where these guys might not want to post all their scores. They might not want to post their good rounds because why would they want to do that? Because it's going to make their handicap drop, and they want to get stroked. They're sandbaggers.
Okay.
And then there's
Sandbagging motherfucker.
Well, he said he already called himself out as a sandbagger, whether he wanted to.
You've sandbagged?
I don't sandbag, but I've had some bad rounds this year that have made my handicap higher than say what it really is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like for an example, when I post scores, me being almost a 0 handicap, I'm a 2.2. I can't post, like, let's just say I shot 80 today but had a triple bogey. Okay, I'm gonna post 79 because posting triple, it would be make my handicap go higher than it really is, because 79 wouldn't be a normal score that I would normally have.
But a triple because the triple bogey is not something that you would normally see.
Right. So for example, or you might have a golfer that posts only when he plays good. He doesn't post his bad score, so now his handicap's much lower than his ability really is, because he wants to have that feeling of, I
never thought about it like that. Like I never thought about a handicap being like
if you want to get a true accurate,
being like taken advantage of.
And so you should post all your scores. And if somebody's serious about playing golf and being better, you absolutely should have a USGA handicap, so you can start monitoring. Okay, my handicap dropped or it went better. We just talked about this, and I don't do this, but I'm going to start doing this at the beginning of the year. And I suggest anybody that wants to get better at golf should do this. There's free apps. Keep track of how many putts you have per round. Keep track of how many greens you're hitting in regulation. How many fairways. because
18 birdies, I do it every time, man. Greens in regulation, fairways in regulation, putts per hole. Anytime I do 18 birdies, which is a great app, by the way, if you're looking for like something to track your golf game, 18 birdies is great. And really, it's shown me problem points in my game. Like, there was one round, dude, I like 3-putted 4 times. Other rounds, I don't do that.
So it'll tell you if you're like really fucking up on like putts or birdies or like putts or drives or like.
Well, yeah, like for example, let's just say we're working a lot of swinging, and you may actually be getting better, but your score might not be reflecting that because maybe you're striking the ball better, maybe you're hitting better green or more greens, maybe you're chipping and putting really fucking bad, and so your score isn't actually dropping, even though you are improving in areas. You know what I mean? So if you really want to get better at golf, keep track of those stats. You don't have to go home and do a spreadsheet on the computer. You know what I mean? They have these apps now. You
just input it and it tells you.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it'll give you like an idea of where you need to like work on. Is that what you're getting at?
Let's just say you're hitting 38% of the greens in regulation. You know what I mean? And so you can see if you're starting to improve in that area or if you're
I really like what you said right there about like, hey, maybe you're striking the ball better, but your scores aren't going down. So I noticed when I started taking lessons and started taking shit seriously, I was hitting the ball way better. My scores weren't going down, but I knew inside I was playing better, right?
You knew you were making improvements, even though your score didn't reflect that.
Correct. And see, golf's one of those only games that happens in, because like think about this, like think about like the NBA, right? So let's use the Cavs player as an example, Lamar Stevens. Right. So I watch basketball a lot just because like it's something I was born and raised on, like watching with my dad, you know, and so Lamar Stevens is a prime example. He plays like forward guard for the Cavs. 2 years ago, his stat line is pretty much identical right now, right? From 2 years ago and last year. You can tell he's playing better. I mean, maybe not the naked eye, but like if you're a Cavs fan and you're watching him, you can tell, hey, he's putting up the same stats, but he's more efficient. He's more this, he's more that. Analysts on ESPN who only care about Steph Curry and LeBron throwing up 30 a night go, oh, well, Lamar Stevens, he's nothing in the NBA. He's not getting better. He's an average player. But he's playing a key role on a playoff team. And the year before that, he's playing the same, but he's more efficient this year. So I'd argue he's better, even though he's putting the same shit up. I think golf's the only sport where you can actually hit the same score and actually noticeably be better. Because think about think about 3 years ago when you and I played at Kingsville Country or Village Green, and I almost fucking killed that goose. R.I.P. Gertrude the goose. I broke the goose's fucking leg. I smacked it with a
low line drive.
Low line drive.
Smacked it in the fucking leg.
Yo, this bitch was like, fucking like, it was fucked up, man. But like, so I probably shot like a 110 there, but I played like dog shit. The only thing that saved me was like some chipping and some putts, right? Flash forward 2-3 years, I'm striking the ball better. I'm hitting the same score, but I'm better. Right?
So
golf's
there's other things still lacking in your game that aren't producing that score. You know, as far as like when we go back to the golf swing, if you're not putting yourself on video, if you're not using different training aids and setting up the different what we call hitting stations. So we do that for feedback. We do that for feedback because guess what? Your swing could be improving. Even though you might still not be hitting the ball how you want to. You're improving this part of your swing, but there's still part of your swing that's lacking improvement that we got to get. But you have to start. So obviously we want to improve the impact position. If you come to me and you get a golf lesson, are we going to start working on the impact position? No. There's things that happen before you get to impact. Your setup, your backswing, how you set the club at the top. If those things aren't proper, you're never going to get into the good impact position or improve your impact position.
That's like
but
dancers.
We have to train the body.
Yeah.
That's like professional dancers. They dance in front of a mirror because they can see what they're doing and they can manipulate their body to do it the way it needs to be done. Exactly.
So in golf, we're really big with, first of all, exaggerations. So when we're trying to learn a new movement, exaggerations are really good. So I wish I had something here, but if I had like a plastic like stick or something like that, and it was bent this way, and I wanted to get it back straight, right? What would I do? I
Bend
would
it
probably
further.
bend it a lot this way, so it kind of comes back to falling in the middle, right?
Yeah.
So in golf, if you have wrist angles and you're very cupped, I'm going to get you to say, hey, keep this left wrist here pointing towards the floor in a backswing. It's a huge exaggeration, but it hopefully will get you to fall in the middle where we want you to be. So exaggerations are huge. Feels versus reels. You may feel like you're going back extremely shut because you're coming back a little more closed than you used to, maybe open and cupped, but what feels in real, it's different.
It's different.
And so exaggeration is huge in the golf swing. So if we're trying to get you to have a new feeling of how you're taking the club back, for example, we want to exaggerate the feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would not want you to take it back this shut, but
No.
for the sake of practice and stuff, feel like that's happening, so then you end up falling kind of where you need to be.
Absolutely.
So it's huge, the feel versus real and the exaggeration, because golf is a lot feel. So you might be feeling good. So that's huge with putting somebody on video, especially when you're trying to chart progress. Well, you're still hitting the ball like fucking dog shit, but you put yourself on video. Oh, my positions are a lot better. I'm still not getting the results, but I am making progress. That's a much better position at the top of my swing than I had before, you know? But it's also about knowing how to know, you know what I mean?
Yep.
You probably aren't going to be able to analyze your own swing because you're not knowledgeable in that
I'm not.
aspect, you know? So it's huge. So most people, they don't know actually really how to practice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they don't have that guidance of how to practice. And it really, quite honestly, when you take a player like Tiger Woods, and he's 3 or 4 years into his professional career, and he's like, I want to get better. So he tried to change his swing, change his swing coach. When a player like Tiger Woods says, I'm hitting 1,000 balls a day, I'm hitting 1,000 repetitions a day, and it takes me a year to feel comfortable with a swing change, most people have unrealistic expectations.
Absolutely. I've always said that.
My friend that's uncoachable and untrainable, okay? I said, hey man, I've shown you how to grip the golf club for 7 years, okay? And you still can't get it right.
Yeah.
I can't jump in your body and grip the club
And change it for you.
You know what I mean? I can't do that.
I think you mentioned it earlier. You said he's uncoachable. Like you just
There are we see it even in the workforce. There's just people that are just untrainable. And truly, why is he uncoachable or untrainable? Because he's not. So I can show him how to grip the golf club, but if you don't go home and practice it, what are you doing? If I give you a golf lesson and I give you a series of some drills that I would like you to do, and then you come back and see me a week later, would you hit any balls? No, I didn't do anything.
That's such a dog shit excuse with golf, man, because like people dick around and go into their backyard or their driveway and shoot basketballs, right? People go with their kid and fucking throw a football around or pitch them a baseball, right? And then maybe not getting better, but it's still repetition. You can take a fucking golf club and you can get a foam ball and you can pitch it in the backyard.
Yeah,
But not even that.
There's
Like,
nothing.
I've taken my golf club and
And
just
here's
went
the-
out in the backyard and just hit fucking dandelions in my yard.
Oh, sure.
And here's the biggest thing, though. With these apps and stuff, put yourself on video. This is
Yes.
analyze.
So do you remember when we worked at the phone store and they had a device that you could put on your golf club that would measure and monitor
Oh yeah,
the way you swing your club, and it would download all that information onto an app. And they used to be able to put it into soccer balls, basketballs, like pretty much anything to improve any sport that you wanted to play. But there was a device that you could attach to your golf club.
And you know what's
And it
crazy?
would-
No
and it-
one ever bought it.
Nobody ever bought it.
Nobody ever bought it. It was crazy because I don't think people understand, Josh. People don't understand, I don't think, like, and I think it's because you have the NBA, you have the MLB, and the NFL. People think it's hard. People think it's harder to do that because you see guys make, like, so for example, Bryce Harper plays for the Philadelphia Phillies, a $500 million deal. That sport's hard. You know what I mean? Like, oh, baseball's so hard. oh, golf, I can go out there and in a year I'll be just like that guy. No, fuck that, man. Like,
Yeah, right.
I saw the average in a 120 person field, what the average takeaway is for last place in a golf tournament. $50,000. I don't give a fuck who you are. $50,000 is half of what I make in a year.
Right.
If you tell me right now, Tom, we're going to get you good enough at golf that you can finish 120th out of 120th, and I will play in 3 tournaments a year, and that's all I have to do, what the
You're in there.
fuck? I am in, dude. Let's get me to that fucking
Right.
level. I think people don't think it's hard to get good at golf because they don't see the $100 million deal.
Right.
And I think, honestly,
Well, also,
that
what
Live
was he-
is good for that reason.
Oh, we're gonna get
Live
in that.
golf.
We're gonna get into that. I feel like because I
Well,
want.
we're going to because after we're done talking about this, I want to get into.
But here's one thing I want to touch on. Like you said earlier, the difference between you know, your average and what you do, like the way you perform, your skill level, and somebody who is, a touring pro, right?
Let's say Matthew Wolf.
You said it's not that far off, right?
I mean, it is and it isn't. So if I hit a drive on number 1 at Geneva on the Lake and you put Matthew Wolf, our balls aren't going to look a whole lot different, except his goes a hell of a lot further. But I mean,
What's a hell of a lot further?
I hit the ball 265, 270 in the air. Matthew Wolf probably hits it 300 yards in the air. That's 30-yard difference, but that's hard to achieve. It's hard for me to get another 30 yards. If you're hitting your driver 180 yards in the air with a lot of hard work and stuff, I could get you hitting it 240 in the air. That's 60 yards. That's more attainable than me attaining another 30 yards.
And we're gonna get there.
You know,
We're gonna get there.
But the big difference is, but it also doesn't come, always come down to strength and how far you hit the ball because there's a lot of strategy.
technique.
Yeah.
Technique more than anything. So when we
setting yourself up for good positions.
Well, yeah. So an average golfer, and even some good players, but aren't tour level. So a lot of times they will do what we call releasing the club early, right? Release our wrist. So when I set up right like this, and then I hinge my wrist. Okay, this is stored energy. Okay, so most golfers and even some good players get rid of that stored energy before they hit the ball. An 18 handicapper really releases it soon. You want to get rid of that stored energy at the moment of impact, not up here.
Yeah.
And here. And there's a lot of cause and effect. There's a lot of action and reaction in the golf swing. So there's a lot of things we might do poorly, but we do that poorly because we do something else first poorly. If you fix the first thing, it sometimes fixes the second thing. Like a player that, for example, early extends. Early extension we would call when the pelvis gets closer to the golf ball and impact. And essentially, if we start off with some knee flex and we're standing up, we're getting taller.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of reasons why we might do that happening earlier in the swing. So there's a lot of cause and effect. There's a lot of, action and then the reaction. Of you did this action, so it caused this reaction.
That makes sense.
So
So Tom, go ahead. Go ahead.
So we've talked about you. We've talked about how you're giving lessons. We've talked about where you're at, where you've been. Now, to kind of finish up tonight, I feel we need to talk about golf as a whole.
I think we need to talk about the elephant in the room as far as what's going on in golf today.
That's where I'm getting at. Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously you being a little bit more connected, knowing the goings on, for someone like me, so I pay attention to golf now more than any other sport. I mean, even more than the NFL. And the NFL is my shit. College football is my shit. But now golf is where I'm focused on because there's such crazy shit happening in golf, the professional world of golf. It used to be, so for those who aren't totally up on it, it used to be that the governing body of professional golf was the PGA, the Professional Golf Association. Well, now Greg Norman and Phil Mickelson decided that they want to take what they perceive as their big swinging dicks and make a new golf league with the Saudis. And I don't know about you, but like, so for me, some of these dudes are getting like hundreds of millions of dollars. Tiger Woods was offered $1 billion to go over there and golf. I don't know about you.
He said no.
He said no, and I'm going to get into that. I don't know about you, but like, I don't think I could take money from the Saudis, man, because one wrong move and you're fucking killed.
No.
Like, I don't know. But so what I'm getting at is here, you got guys like Dustin Johnson, who has made about $100 million in career earnings in the PGA. Now, for reference, Dustin Johnson is one of the greatest golfers of the past probably 15 years.
That's a fair assumption.
He has nutted in Paulina Gretzky tens of thousands of times, I imagine, because why wouldn't you if you're fucking Paulina Gretzky?
Only got her pregnant once.
He only got her pregnant once. I mean, he's probably shooting blanks because I know I'd be fucking her like every night. But gotta get that Gretzky money. But so you got guys like Dustin Johnson, who has made probably $100 million in career earnings, now gets $100 million just to go fucking golf there, on top of what he will earn if he fucking wins an event. Phil Mickelson, who has made probably close to $500 million in career earnings, decided, hey, I'm not making enough on the PGA because I'm a fucking degenerate gambler and I'm just a piece of shit human being, so I need more money, so I'm going to go play on the LIV Tour. And I've watched a couple LIV events. Okay, like I've sat and I've watched that shit. Like, it ain't bad. I mean, the talent level's there.
So my thing is, like, what is the difference between the two? Obviously, other than the name that goes along with it.
Basically,
And the money, apparently.
so first of all, the money. Like, the elephant in the room is just the fucking money.
It's always about money.
It's always about money.
It is.
As Little Wayne once said, it's about pussy, money, weed.
I don't want to be judgmental because I think money is an addiction, and if
it is.
And if I were in that position, I might be addicted to it as well.
Oh, you would.
I don't want to place judgment on that, but like for example, this is kind of funny. So if you have that much money,
Yeah.
right? So first of all, at least at this point in time, like Tiger Woods, for example, he turned it down because Tiger Woods, more than anything, is about trophies.
Yes.
Is about tournaments won, about all that.
Yeah.
You know, about legacy, about setting records. So I don't think he's ever going to do it. Plus the fact that, okay, how much money does one person actually ever really truly need?
John Rahm said it the best. He said, they offer me $400 million to go golf over there. My life isn't gonna change. And I thought about that for a second.
If you have 15 million right now and I give you 70 million, how is your life really gonna change? Unless you can't budget very fucking well. You have a gambling addiction.
Like Phil.
Well, I mean,
my life will change.
if
My
I
life
have
will
14
change.
million and you just give me,
70.
you know,
three times that.
at least four.
Yeah, 4 times.
Yeah, 4 to 5 times what I already have. So if I have $100 and somebody gives me $500, I'm like, oh shit, yeah.
Well, yeah, absolutely. You're gonna say that.
Or I have 10,000 and somebody gives me 50,000. I'm like,
all I know is I can live really fucking well off $10 million.
But it's all a matter of perspective.
yeah,
too.
but
Think about the
you know what,
perspective.
you know what they say: more money, more problems.
Biggie said it best.
That's what I'm saying.
But see, it's also a matter of perspective, and I don't mean to be an asshole here, but how many NFL players do you see go out, they get in trouble for snorting coke, fucking like 4 girls and getting 2 of them pregnant, and they go bankrupt
Sexual
in a few
assault,
years. Sexual
They
assault.
shouldn't have guns. And
Getting
they got guns.
massages.
Conduct.
Getting massages with a handy at the end. Deshaun Watson. What? Anyway, sorry. NFL players.
He apologized to him though.
He did apologize finally,
Yeah.
so thank God for
Wait a
that.
minute.
I'm
So,
sorry
but
for
if they were
raping you,
willing,
but, you know,
That's neither here nor there right now. But what I'm getting at is you hear NFL players do stupid shit all the time. You hear NBA players do stupid shit all the time.
golf's one of
When
those
have you
sports
ever
where
heard
don't-
of... The only time I've ever heard a golfer do something stupid is when Tiger Woods was doing blow and fucking hookers. And
I
his
was
wife
going to
came
ask you
out-
if that's like
Hit
one
it
of
with
the
a 9-iron.
I was going to ask you if that's one of the privileges that you get of being a fucking professional,
Yeah,
a
that's
golf
what-
professional. You get to go up
coke
to
and fuck hookers.
Yeah,
I'm a
that's
golf
the-
pro. I'm not a professional golfer.
That's true.
so
Yeah,
I
and
don't
that's
have
why I
that.
didn't ask you that question, because you made a clear distinction earlier. There's a difference between a golf professional
Yeah.
and a professional
So
golfer.
he
Golf
sorts
professionals make
Adderall
50
and
to
has sex with
100,000.
classy
Professional
women.
golfers make millions. You
Yeah,
know?
all right.
Golf professionals
And that's why I
have a
didn't,
real job. Professional golfers
and that's why I
just
didn't
play
ask
golf
you
for
that
a living.
question, because I was like, you know what? This guy's a golf professional. He's not a professional golfer. If he was a professional golfer, I know that hookers and blow are
Hookers
part of
and
the
blow.
deal.
But so that's the crazy thing with John Rahm, though, because John Rahm said, and John Rahm's one of the best golfers in the world. He's a Spaniard. He has hit one of the craziest shots I've ever seen, where he skipped it over the pond and hit a par 3 hole in one. If you haven't seen that, just look up John Rahm hole in one.
Well, that's
on
actually
YouTube.
a Masters thing where during the practice rounds, 16 at Augusta, they just try to skip the ball.
They just try to skip
Yeah,
it.
it's just like a little bit of a.
But Rahm was the
thing that
most
they do
impressive
every
one
year.
I'd ever
They
seen.
don't actually do that in a tournament,
No.
per se, but
But John Rahm turned down the 400, and he's never made 400 million in his career. I mean, I think I looked up his career earnings was like 50 or 60 million.
I think
which
he's
is still good.
I think he's closer to reality that, one, I don't want to represent the Saudis, and two, is my life really going to change if I have 50 million versus 350 million? I mean, how much fucking money do you really need?
It's just like Jose Ramirez with the Guardians. So we know in baseball, these guys get stupid fucking contracts now. Like I just said, 500 million, Bryce Harper. Jose Ramirez took a $140 million contract because he said he wanted to be in Cleveland, and if that's what Cleveland gave him, that's what he's going to take. How much, as a professional athlete, does your life really change if you get hundreds of millions of dollars, if you've already gotten close to that? It's like you said, unless you don't know how to fucking budget, what's your life going to change? Now, I know I would probably take that money and make it so that my great-great-great-great-grandchildren never had to work.
Right.
But the thing is realistically, most dudes aren't doing that.
If you got $1 billion and someone says, "Hey, we're going to give you another $1 billion to come,"
What the fuck are you going to do?
what are you going to do? Do you really? I mean, you
What
can't.
the
You
fuck?
can't spend all the billions you have. I
Like
mean,
Elon Musk, what the fuck is he doing? Like, I read something one time that Elon Musk would have to buy 1,000 of his own space shuttles a day for a year to even make a dent in what he has. Like, it's stupid. Like, when you become that rich and you're a professional athlete, and so we'll use John Rahm for an example, right? John Rahm's one of the more quiet guys on tour, one of the more humble guys. He's one of those dudes who
he's likable.
he's a very likable guy.
You feel like if you met him on the street, he'd sign your autograph and wish
Exactly.
you well on your way and take some time to talk to you, not
Exactly.
not shun you or whatever.
Exactly. John Rahm wasn't wrong. Like, I don't need that money. Well, and everyone would like that money. But the thing is John Rahm doesn't need it because at the end of the day, he's golfing, and golfers get paid very well.
He
I
never has to work a day in his life.
He's
if,
not
if he never
working.
if he never wins any more money, unless you have a series of gambling
Unless he's Phil
problems.
Mickelson.
Or John Daly.
Or John Daly. But John Daly just really loved cocaine and Kettle One. Like, I mean, and can you blame
Miller
him?
Lite. He's a Miller Lite.
And
guy,
he's a
too.
Miller Lite guy, has been since he was 8 years old. I actually have that poster. I'm a Miller Lite guy, have been since I was 8. But I think the thing that is so likable about PGA players and golfers in general is that even the assholes, like Phil, right? I grew up hating Phil Mickelson. I thought he was just a pretentious cunt. Like, he always wore the black and oh, I'm the fucking villain, and he played that up, right? Then I find out he has a gambling addiction,
Right.
which whatever. If you have gambling problems, it's fine. Call 1-800-GAMBLING if you have an addiction. But I'm not gonna lie, man. 2 years ago when he was at the U.S. Open and he was about to win that shit, and all the people were following him.
Well, he won the PGA last year at 50.
That's what I'm talking. That's what I'm talking about. I teared up, man.
And you wanted to like the guy, but then he fucking pulled this shit, and you're like, okay. When you sit there and say the PGA hasn't treated me well or they kept all the money,
get the fuck out of here.
You've never even fucking worked a real day in your life, okay? Then don't tell me the PGA doesn't treat you well. It's no bigger than working for a big corporation that gives you your $65,000 a year when they could pay you $150, but they don't. They give you $65.
Exactly.
You get the fuck out of here. You know,
Phil is
that's
the
so
example
different.
of that. I mean, And then, like, so the other cool thing about golf is, like, so years ago when Tiger had that shit happen, right? Tiger, he has a painkiller addiction. He's addicted to, not addicted, but he just liked to dabble in nose candy. And Tiger Woods loves white women, and Ellen Norgren flipped the fuck out on him because he was fucking a white prostitute.
And they like that big black dick. But he's half Asian, so does that kind of equal out?
It's fine.
He's black and Asian, so is it normal size? Because the Asian's short and the black.
That's a really good question. That is a really good
Because
question.
if he did have a 4-inch dick, I mean, none of those girls are gonna say, "No, I'm not gonna bang Tiger Woods because he's only got a 4-inch Peter." They still want
they're
that
gonna be like, he's
fucking guy.
worth
He's
fucking
Tiger
$40
fucking
million.
Woods. They're hoping to get pregnant by him.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I never hated Tiger Woods, even though he did stupid shit. Like, I was rooting for Tiger that whole fucking time because, like, at the end of the day, like, the motherfucker was entertaining as fuck. Did you ever see that commercial that he did with the Air Max Tiger Woods where he lined up a golf shot and there was all the people in front of him, and then he had, and this is Chuck, and Chuck is going to come out here and he's going to hit, and it was like just a fucking slice, and he was like, oh, Chuck needs Tiger Air Maxes. And that was a caricature of Tiger Woods.
Some of the early Nike commercials with Tiger Woods were
awful,
pretty badass.
But see, I like Tiger for that reason, man. Like, and I like Tiger because the motherfucker's endorsing Big Macs and shit. I was a fat fucking kid. I'm a fat adult, man, and I'm just like, yo, Michael Jordan isn't endorsing McDonald's. That motherfucker's endorsing Gatorade. Fuck that, dude. This dude fucking gets it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's endorsing Big Macs. Like, if this motherfucker's eating a Big Mac and going and hitting fucking bombs, I want to do that shit.
I think Tiger earlier in his career was a little bit of a prick asshole.
Oh, he was.
Oh, he was.
He was.
I saw, actually, no, this doesn't have to do with him being a prick.
He's gone through the circle of life, and, you know, his father died, and then I think it was after his father died, he became a fucking...
Born again Christian?
No, definitely not.
That's when he became an asshole? That's when he became an asshole?
I don't know. He might have been an asshole before that, but that's when he thought, you know, life was about banging fucking broads and fucking partying. And honestly, that might be why his game went downhill. You know, he wasn't getting enough pussy. I don't know. I mean, he was getting enough, but, you know.
I'm sure he was getting plenty of pussy.
He had to be getting
but he had to settle it down a little bit when he got caught. But, you know, at the end of the day, all these people are fucking human beings, and it's. Yeah, you know, it's funny when people are like, "Well, you can't judge." We've all been guilty of judging another human being. You drive down the street and you see some person that looks like a crack whore, and literally you're like, "That person's a crack whore." You're placing judgment on them. But
goddamn right I am.
But you know, I think Tiger's become more humble, though. You know, he's become more engaging with the fans and joking around with them, and they want to see that because it's more human. It's more the human side of things. Versus, you know, I'm just a fucking awesome fucking golfer, and
he was the best athlete in the world at one time. And think about that. He was the best athlete in the world, and he was a golfer. Think about at that time, 1999, 2000. You had Michael Jordan. You had
what are you, fucking hot boy? You juvenile? 99, 2000.
I ain't juvenile, motherfucker. I'm BG up in this bitch. I'm gonna tell you that. I'm Jigga, okay? I'm Jigga. But anyway, and I said the J. So, but think about it. You had Tiger Woods, the best athlete in the world, but you had, like, Ken Griffey Jr., Michael Jordan. You had fucking Curtis Martin from the New York Jets. I mean, these athletic motherfuckers. And they can't even hold a fucking candle to Tiger Woods at that time. You know what I mean? Like, so that speaks to just...
Tiger had his own video games.
Tiger had his own video games, and those were fucking sick. And then Rory PGA Tour came out. That game was sick. I got tired as fuck of it when my wife beat me at it the first time. And I said, this is dog shit. Fuck this game. And I hung it up. But speaking of, let's divulge. So I know you're a bit older. You probably don't play video games.
Yeah, I can't get into it. You know, it's funny.
So golf games have become huge. Some of the biggest sales right now are PGA or the golf club 2K21 2019, and those are, I mean, people who don't even pick up golf clubs talk about that game. And do you think that that's good for the game of golf? That
Fuck
just
yeah,
video
dude, that's
game
not even
golf?
a question.
I mean,
I think it is a question.
I guess it'd be interesting to see how many of those people get involved in the actual sport.
How many
That's
of them
what I'm
actually
saying.
pick
What
up
if
a
they
pair
don't?
of set of
Yeah.
clubs?
What if they don't?
Even still, it's
I mean, it's not really
boosting
growing
sales.
golf in the
It's not-
sense of, they're not going out and buying golf equipment. They're not going in and spending money at golf courses. So that's not really growing golf per se.
It's
It's growing the
growing-
video game, growing video games of golf. But
Man, I don't
Kinda
know.
drunk.
I don't know. I don't know if I feel exactly that way, because I feel like even though they're not going out and purchasing golf clubs, they're still maybe they'll catch a game on TV. Maybe that'll grow
match.
ratings.
well, it might grow into something at some point. They're like, I want to try this for real.
Well, like my
But-
younger brother, he's never golfed. Like he was in my wedding party and he did not come to the golf event because he doesn't golf. But I gave him my Xbox because he helped so much getting my wedding
Right.
ready, and I had a new Xbox. I gave him my old one, and the golf club was on there. Okay, he ends up playing it, and he calls me one night and he's like, "Hey, you want to play golf?" And I was like, "Oh fuck, you want to go to Maple Ridge?" He's like, "No, I'm gonna send you a party invite on Xbox." And he was playing the golf club, and he's telling me like, "Oh yeah, well, I'm gonna use the Shambo because his club speed's so fast." And he's just like listing all this shit off, and I thought that was super cool because like
He doesn't golf.
he doesn't golf. My younger brother, I love this dude, man. You get a kick out of him. He's just this scrawny fucking tattooed fucking Grateful Dead loving pothead.
Stoner dude.
Stoner, hey man, that's how he talks. But like now all he will do
Julius.
is talk to me about golf. Like he'll just talk about golf. He'll just be like, "Hey man, I saw that Patrick Reed fucking he pulled some shit, man. Like you can't do that, man. Like if you plug your ball, you gotta play it where it lies,
Right.
man." And he fucking pulled it out. Fuck that guy. And this is an actual conversation. Fuck that guy, man. And like he's not golfing, but he's watching and
Right.
he's interested now, and he knows that Patrick Reed's a fucking piece of shit. which,
Right.
in my book, hell yeah, because fuck Patrick Reed. But so even though golf video games aren't contributing to the sales of golf and they aren't getting people out at Erie Shores or
Right.
Hemlock Springs, it's still getting people interested in it. And I think
That's why I was saying, like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with golf isn't golf games, like video
Right.
games aren't necessarily growing the game, but they're getting people like
It's certainly
it's
not
getting
hurting
attention.
anything. It's not
Yeah, yeah,
hurting
yeah.
anything. You're right.
Yeah.
But the rise. But speaking of video games, the rise of accessible golf simulators, I think, are really helping the game of golf. So like for me, right? I don't have $20,000 that I can throw to TrackMan and a impact screen and a cage, right? But I did have a couple thousand that I could throw on a fucking
OptiShot.
OptiShot with a decent impact screen and a
Projector.
decent throw
And
projector.
if you are, wanting to get better, it does give you some feedback.
It does.
It
does.
It might not be accurate as far as what kind of side spin, but you're getting a slice spin or you're getting a draw spin. So it is providing feedback.
Affordable
is
golf
huge.
simulators are
Feedback
growing the
is
game.
huge. That's why I say if you're serious about golf, you're putting yourself on video.
What do you think
Because
about
you can do comparisons, especially if you're truly working on getting better. Where was I a month ago? Where am I at now?
Exactly.
what do you
Okay,
think
yeah.
about like golfers coming up nowadays? Like because I've seen some pretty young fucking golfers like do some amazing shit, or at least heard about them. But like,
Those kids from Edgewood.
well, I'm just saying in general, like because of technology, like how big of an impact. Especially, I'm a tech head. Like I own a phone repair shop, electronics repair shop. Like I'm a
Window
fucking,
Productions and Cracked.
I'm a fucking tech head. So like, how big of a role is technology playing in the advancement of golf?
I mean, obviously now equipment is easier to hit and stuff like that. But a lot of the new people, they can't do a comparison though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They didn't use that stuff.
Right. That's why.
TaylorMade.
That's why I ask you that.
So-
Like,
so-
are like the younger generations? Are they like as good as like the professionals back in, let's say, the '80s or some shit? Like, are they that? Is there that much of a difference there?
I don't think so. I mean, obviously the professionals that were great in the '80s, the amateurs now with this technology. Well, it depends what level amateur we're talking about too. Are we talking about these kids that are playing in the U.S. amateur? They're gonna their next step is college golf and then professional golf, and some of them might be even saying, okay, do I want to skip college and do I want to go right into the pros like Tiger Woods did?
Yeah.
So I mean, it depends. So here's an example. So a lot of people will talk about golf courses becoming obsolete with, the golf ball goes further now, the equipment is better. Okay, golf courses for the average recreational golfer, okay, is not obsolete still.
No.
Yes, for the touring professional, yes, these golf courses need to be longer and is in the direction we're going.
So they are getting better.
But for the average golfer, Village Green isn't really that much easier than it was 30 years ago. No. It's still hard as fuck because it's a hard sport.
How do you feel about them closing down Chapel Hill?
Yeah, what the fuck you think about that?
So Chapel Hill,
it wasn't a course favorite of mine, not at all. Like,
I fucking hated Chapel Hill. Fuck Chapel Hill.
So Chapel Hill was a great golf course.
I'm glad you're dead.
It was a great golf course for like seniors.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, for
women,
seniors,
women are beginning golfers.
Because you had a lot of dog
Somebody
legs.
at my skill level does not want to play Chapel Hill.
Too many dog legs.
I don't want to I don't want to play a par 4 where I have to hit a 7-iron off the tee and then hit a sandwich into the green. What kind of golf is that? You know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't like to see any golf course close. It still served the purpose. There's still somebody.
And what are they doing with it now? They're about to put like housing development.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. At Windy Hill, so Windy Hill is actually purchased by a distant relative of mine that I've never actually even met, but he's like a second or third or fourth cousin or some shit like that.
Second or third Krause, huh?
Yeah. Well, he's not a Krause. He's a Craig, Krieg.
Another fucking German.
But that's so I mean, it hurt to see the golf course become like basically not a golf course now because it had a lot of memories there.
Yeah.
That's where I hit my first and only hole in one, December 2nd, 1998. I'm in high school. I'm in my senior year. It's a Friday.
So you've been golfing for how many years?
I'm 42. I've been golfing since I was 8. This is my 36th year of hitting that ball.
34 years.
And you've had one hole in one.
One hole in one.
That shows how fucking hard it is.
It is a hard game. And then there's people lesser skill level than me that have 4 hole in ones.
Trevor,
Why are you gonna do that?
Why do I got to do that? Because he's never gonna fucking watch.
No,
because I'll go get a haircut from him for $50, but he can't spend 2 hours to watch our podcast.
But you know what? He's got what? One hole in one.
Trevor's got one hole in one.
So how about this? So Trevor, I became friends with Trevor because we went to the city church for a little while, and I met him through there. And I probably should go to church more than I do, but I am a Christian. Just to declare that I believe in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I definitely believe in a bigger power by believing in God. So anyway,
that's a touch that for me. We'll skip that. But we'll get in there. I'll have a conversation. I'll have a conversation with you for 3 hours.
The truth of the matter is, we can. If you're mature enough, you can get along with people with different.
Absolutely.
Different. If you can't get along with another human being because difference of opinion, then you're not very mature.
No, you're a piece of shit.
People come from different walks of life and stuff like that, and so. Just respect other people, and if you get on a subject where you just disagree, then just don't fucking talk about it.
Yeah, well, it's not that I necessarily disagree 100% with what you were saying.
He's talking about you though.
No, I know. I'm just saying, but regardless, I just have a different perspective, I guess you would say.
And there's a reason why people feel different ways too, But regardless, I met Trevor at a church, so we became friends or whatever. So recently, I learned as of this year, Trevor started having these monthly golf outings, and he cuts a lot.
Wait, he just told you about that? It's been like 3 years.
It's been like 3 fucking years.
I didn't find out till last year. So he cuts a lot of hair. He doesn't cut mine because I'm not going to pay for somebody. I'm not going to pay for somebody to do this. I can do this myself.
You're like a cock with ears, man.
But
like a big fucking uncut cock.
Anyway, so Trevor tells me like a year ago or 2 years ago that one of the guys in his outings, he hits the flagstick on his par 3, and he claims hole in one. COVID rules. The ball. Now take into account the ball did not.
Funny
the ball.
COVID rules.
The ball did not go in the hole. It hit the flagstick and it deflected off the green.
Yeah, but even without COVID, you're still if you can still hit the flagstick and it not go in.
It doesn't fucking matter. Okay, a hole in one is a par.
It goes in the hole.
It doesn't matter. It could be a par 4. You hit one shot and it goes in the fucking hole. That's simple. Okay,
Yeah.
That's it.
So
it's simple as
Trevor hasn't. So this. So I have a hole in one, right? I don't have one, but I'm in the club. I'm in the club, baby.
Yeah.
I've been in the club since I was 18 years old. So I said, who is this fucking guy's name? point him out to me because I'm gonna be like, hey, dude, you're not in the club. I'm sorry. You hit a good shot, you hit the stick, but it's off. You ain't in the fucking hole.
Who was it?
I don't know who it is.
It's Bucky.
But
it's Bucky for sure.
But his name's on a plaque in Geneva on the Lake. It doesn't fucking
For a hole in
belong
one?
there. Yes. He didn't hit. So I need to find out who this is. And
Wait, if his name is on a plaque, you should know his name, right?
I don't know who it is.
Do you remember the name on the plaque?
No, I don't.
Because we'll shout him out right here.
We'll shout him out right here, right
So,
now.
like,
Fucking
bitch,
fraud.
You didn't get no
So
hole.
whoever you are, fuck you.
You're a fraud.
Your ball didn't go in the hole. It's not a hole in one, okay? That's like
Fucking cheater.
That's like me hitting a chip shot and hits the stick and doesn't go in. Well,
You didn't chip it in.
I didn't chip it in.
Don't be a piece of shit.
So I hope one day you can.
We're scratching your name off, bitch.
I hope you can
Fuck
sleep.
you.
I hope one day you do hit a hole in one and you can join the club. But until then, you're not in the club. So
You're a
when I
fraud.
find out who you are,
You're a
I'm gonna
fraud.
go to the plaque at Gina on the Lake and I'm gonna remove your fucking name.
Let me
Do
ask you a
it.
question, because I know you'll probably be watching. How the fuck do you sleep at night? How do you sleep at night knowing that you said, I'm talking to him, you say you hit a hole in one, you hit a fucking flag stick. That's like me fucking putting my dick in my wife and I don't hit the vagina, I hit the butthole. Like, I didn't have sex with her vagina, I had sex with her butt. Like, get the fuck out of here. You didn't hit a hole in one. I'm sick and tired of you fucking
You
people.
did not go in the hole, okay?
You did not go to.
You didn't go. I'm sorry. I'm really drunk. Like, this is just what it is. So listen, we're gonna end this shit tonight. I'm gonna throw some rapid fire questions at you. I just need quick answers off the top of your head. I kind of want to do this with podcasts now to end the podcast. Like 10 questions. So you chime in when you think of a question.
I got to be honest here. I'm
Favorite golf club?
7-iron.
You have a 7-iron with you?
I do, yes.
Where's that?
It's right back here.
Let me see.
Let me see it.
Who is it? Who makes it?
Who makes
It
it?
looks like a Callaway.
Mizuno.
Mizuno.
Oh.
Why do you like Mizuno?
They make the best blades in the world.
What's a blade versus a regular back?
So that's a blade. There's no cavity. There's no forgiveness. There's no real game improvement.
Okay.
If you hit it like shit, you hit it like shit.
You hit it like shit.
Yep. There's no real game improvement.
Wait a minute.
features.
Let me see. Because I
Next question.
Smaller club. face.
TaylorMade. TaylorMade has now made a carbon wood face. How do you feel about the carbon wood face?
I'm not actually a TaylorMade guy, even though I play Mizuno irons. I'd love
You like TaylorMade?
only woods I'll play is TaylorMade.
So for those of you who aren't into golf, this head right here, this face right here, it's more of like a. It's more like
explain it because to
like-
me that looks like a normal 7-iron.
Yeah.
This is a normal 7-iron. So explain So before I get into carbon wood, explain the blade.
So a blade is more of a compact or smaller head. The hitting area is generally smaller than, let's say, a cavity back. So a blade right here, we don't have like the cutout in the back. Like if you imagine a cavity back iron, you have like the cutout.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of a cavity.
Yeah.
And this isn't like that. So this is more geared towards a more skilled golfer. The club face itself is obviously going to be a smaller hitting area. Cavity backs normally got what we call perimeter weighting.
Yep.
So basically, bottom line, this is a less forgiving golf club on off-center shots.
So you need to be a fucking decent to above average golfer to even be able to have a shot of hitting these well.
Yeah. So like most people shouldn't be playing a golf club of
Correct.
this type of design. You know what I mean?
So if I take, so I've got, what do I have upstairs?
You got Nikes.
No, I don't. I've got, I want to say I got.
No, Willie's
Callaways.
got Nikes.
I've got Callaways upstairs. So if I take my clubs out and I shoot with my 7-iron and then I shoot with your 7-iron, I'm going to notice quite a bit of a difference or what?
I mean, you might. So, I mean, obviously, a lot of this stuff is putting them on like robot machines and getting out data, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, I might hand you these irons and say, go out and play with them. You might be like, God, I can't fucking hit those fucking things. They're so
Because I
fucking
can't,
small.
because I'm not hitting it square.
Yeah. So obviously, a golf club like this doesn't have a lot of game improvement features.
Right.
So on a
I can tell you're pretty consistent. Like I can see where the ball is consistently hitting.
Yeah. So,
right there.
Yeah. So on a golf club like this, it's not going to be as forgiving for off-center shots. You know what I mean?
Right.
So someone that's not hitting it in the center of the club all the time is going to benefit from a cavity back iron.
Okay.
You know, something a little bigger, more forgiving design.
So you don't want to hit that with the toe.
Yeah, exactly. So you hit something like this on the toe with a cavity back, it might still get a somewhat decent result. obviously, if you really fucking hit it bad, you really hit it fucking bad.
Yeah.
No club is gonna fucking fix that.
Yeah.
That problem.
No, there's one club.
But
that
we're
will
talking
fix
on
it.
minimal misshits, obviously. Something like this is needs to be hit more in the center of the club, where something that's a little more forgiving design, you can kind of get away with it. And it might be 3 yards, 4 yards, but in golf that could be huge. You know,
That's huge.
4 yards is the difference between carrying that fucking bunker and
Why is a
hitting
7-iron your favorite?
I mean, it's
Just
just
the angle
Where
of it, or
Kevin
what?
Costner and Tin Cup.
yeah, actually, that has a big part of it. So obviously, a golf club with more loft is easier to hit than a club with less loft. But I don't know, a 7-iron just I don't know, it's just a
Like,
cool
nice
number. I was a
in
number
between.
7 in baseball, so maybe
Okay.
that has something to do with it. But you know, it's funny because I've pretty much played forged blade golf clubs my whole life. And I always just like the chrome. Like I love classic cars, and I love the chrome on the bumper. So
Yeah.
most blades are chrome plated, whereas a cavity back is normally like a satin finish or something.
Yeah.
I just always thought they looked really cool in the bag when the sun's shining and the glare.
Yeah,
and,
fuck yeah, they do.
And so yeah, I just always play this style of golf club. So I've had these for 8 years. So big misconception with technology. So technology advancements obviously is huge, but it's more in woods than irons. So for example, I could play a set of these blade irons that are 20 years old, and I mean I would hit them just as same as I hit these. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A blade for the most part is a blade. Obviously, if you get really old and you go into the 60s or 70s, a blade is still pretty much a blade, but they would have been even smaller. Even
Yeah,
smaller,
I think I actually have a set of clubs upstairs that was gifted to me that were probably in the six. They had to have been back there because the face of the head of it was pretty small.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like where I was getting at with like talking about golf courses being obsolete, with technology advancements, it's only obsolete with touring professionals. It's not obsolete with the average golfer. The average golfer isn't going out and saying Geneva on the Lake with this technology I have now. This is too short of a course. I'm just fucking.
Well, see, yeah, that's the crazy thing. So like we talked not too long ago, like Geneva on the Lake, par 5, hole 1.
Right.
Bryson DeChambeau
Drive the fucking green.
would drive the fucking green.
Well, that's also golf.
It wouldn't even be fun for him.
So, like, number one at Geneva on the Lake, like, I play the blue tees, and on a golf course like that, it's not a huge difference between the blue and the white, or the back tee and the forward tee. But, for example, the first hole is 450 yards, which, for the most part, by today's standards, 450 would not be, if you play most golf courses in the
That's a par 4.
It's a par 4, yeah. So, but obviously, Geneva on the Lake, the average golfer, they can't carry that crest of the hill, and they can't get up to the top. So, that golf course, for example, was designed in 1927, so... those golfers weren't hitting it to the top of the hill at all by any means. Even the good players,
They were hitting it barely over that creek.
Yeah, so
barely.
Golf courses with technology are not obsolete for the average recreational player, even a good amateur player for the most part.
You think
they're not
the
obsolete.
golf courses are going to have to adapt soon though, or what?
As far as technology,
Mhm.
no, because they're not really obsolete for the recreational player. Even though the golf ball's going further, the average score really hasn't dropped drastically. So for the average golfer with with today's technology, they still can't hit it. They couldn't in 1927. They weren't at Geneva on the Lake. They weren't carrying it to the top.
They
of the
weren't
hill.
scoring like they weren't shooting. I don't know what's
They weren't shooting 70 on a 72.
right.
Yeah, in 1927. I mean, there was people who shot 70 in 1927.
Oh no, absolutely. But
But
it wasn't.
But the average on that course still hasn't changed.
As
much.
far as distance, we're talking about mostly distance right now. In 1927, they weren't carrying a golf ball 260 yards, which from the blue tee at Geneva on the Lake, it's about 265 to carry to the crest of the hill. They weren't doing that in 1927, and they're not doing it now. The average golfers. So even though the ball is going further, the average golf course with the average recreational player, the course is not obsolete. So obviously with these touring professionals, yes, they're hitting it huge. A lot of them, I hit the golf ball 265 in the air. Rory McIlroy hits the ball 320 in the air. You know what I mean? So obviously for those kind of players, the golf courses need to be longer and harder. But for the average recreational player, the golf course doesn't need to be any harder. We were talking about before real quick. So a lot of golfers that come into the game and leave the game relatively quickly are
pussies.
Yes, they're pussies, but a lot of them are a lot of them aren't the average golfer that just wants to play golf. A lot of them are the very competitive ones that were good in football, baseball, and they're like, fuck,
I notice a lot of great athletes play play golf.
Yeah, you know, a lot of those guys, a lot of baseball, basketball. Steph Curry's a pretty good golfer. So
Yeah, he is.
A lot of them are playing
He's good
golf.
at everything. Fuck
a lot
that
of them are
guy.
playing golf after retirement. A lot of them are playing golf when they're just, it's the off season. You know, golf.
You gotta hate to love them.
Make golf your thing.
love to
It's
hate
just a
him.
cool
I
fucking
love to hate
sport.
Steph Curry. Fuck him.
So
But just because he's so good.
I actually kind of test people, right? So there's a girl I went to high school with. She's a couple years older than I am, and she'll go golf.
MILF?
No.
No,
She's attractive.
we're not gonna say that. We're not gonna say her name then.
She's attractive, okay, but she's not a MILF because she's not a MILF because she's not a mom.
Oh, okay. Good for her.
Ah, there we go. Hey,
Anyway,
but she's attractive.
hopefully she don't figure this out. But no, she's really an awesome person, and she's pretty new to golf. And so I'm so when you're fucking passionate about something, you want everybody to do it.
You want everybody
And then
to
you're
know
bummed
and
when
do it,
they're
yeah.
like, golf's dumb. You're like,
fuck you. It's
fuck
not
you, I'm
dumb.
not wasting my
dick.
time on you then.
Yeah.
But she plays golf and she really likes it, and she's not a serious golfer, and that's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
But I test her. I'll be like, "How did golf go?" I see that she posted about it. I was like, "How did golf go?" Because I'm just waiting for the one day that she says, "I get better."
yeah.
I want to, because then it tells me she's taking it a step serious. I'm like, "Fucking go to the range and work on this shit.
Let's roll, baby."
Make you better. And she probably won't, but that's okay though. You know,
That's fine.
But you know, for those that want to get better, I'll help make you better. You know what I mean? But you gotta put in the fucking effort too. And here's the thing, okay? We all got regular jobs. We're not just blessed to just be, you know, stay home and have all kinds of money and accumulate in our bank accounts. We have to go out and
I have to earn my fucking money. I got to bust my nut every day.
But what I tell people is, you can get better at golf without a golf club in your hand. You can get better at. You can't chip and putt in your living room in the wintertime?
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. You absolutely can.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You can do that.
I'm cool, Cat. I'm 4 beers deep on a 9% alcohol. My
It's
wife's
hidden.
texting me saying, bring food home. I'm like, hey, listen, I'm getting tired. She wants some of this dick tonight. Like, I don't know.
You're going to have a pizza roll sticking out of your mouth while you were just...
Oh, you're
I'm
putting it in
putting
the
my
hole.
dick in. Oh, yeah.
Put it in the hole.
I'm going to ask you 3 rapid fire questions. I need
right.
you to answer as truthfully as you can.
All right.
You said you don't like drinking during your round.
Right.
If it's a perfect day, I'm talking perfect golf day, 8 a.m. tee time, and you're with 3 dudes, you're a foursome. You're not having a foursome, you know what I mean?
Right,
but
right.
it's a foursome of golf. You get 1 alcoholic beverage. What is the alcoholic beverage?
Bloody Mary, baby.
Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary.
It don't matter if it's in the morning or 10 o'clock at night. I love that tomato juice flavor.
Tomato
Bloody
juice
Mary's my
flavor.
drink.
Vodka
goes with anything.
You ordered a Bloody Mary while you were saying how my second cousin is so fucking hot while we were at the golf outing. She was serving us booze. My second cousin, Morgan, was
Your
the
second
beer girl.
cousin, to clarify, not my second cousin.
Yeah, no, my second cousin. He's like, oh, she's so fucking hot. Bro, she just turned 19. Oh, yeah, that's fine. I don't think she's hot. She's my
Age of
second
consent?
cousin. Age of consent. What is your favorite food to have on the golf course? It doesn't have to be from fucking Geneva on the Lake. We're talking even like the 5-star golf courses that you've gone to.
That's want a good fucking hot dog, man.
You want a glizzy.
I want a good fucking hot dog.
You want a good glizzy. Now,
How do you eat your glizzy?
yeah, how do you eat your glizzy?
Well, if they got chili available, I'll take a good chili dog.
You
every
want a
fucking
chili
day.
dog.
Yeah.
That's
Chili
right.
glizzy.
Chili glizzy.
Other than that, just standard hot dog. We're gonna go with ketchup and ballpark mustard.
Who's your favorite PGA pro right now?
Right now, or just in general? Ever,
Right now.
Ever.
Right now.
I like that fucking Will Zatoris.
He just won
He
yesterday.
did. He did. I
He
just.
broke through. And Adam Sandler said, "Happy's happy for you, baby," because
He looks like a fucking caddy in the movie. He does.
You ever see that? You ever see
have
Happy
not.
Gilmore?
Well, yeah, I've
Zalatoris-
seen Happy Gilmore.
You know
Will
his little
Zalatoris
caddy?
is?
His little caddy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
When he
Look at
pushed
this
him down, he's
motherfucker.
like, "Mr. Gilmore, I'm your caddy." And he's like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
these are my grandfather's clubs. They're really old." Yeah, that fucking Will Zalatoris who just won it. He fucking looks just like the fucking guy.
Does he?
No, I just like the guy. I fucking like his swing. He's a great fucking player, obviously, and he's been knocking on the door.
Shit.
He's been knocking on the door to win it, and he just fucking did it. So, I like him. I think he's a good player, and I think he's sort of like a humble kind of guy, which everybody likes that. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, he fucking.
He does. Okay.
That's your 3.
Okay.
You got
You and me, we go to golf headquarters tomorrow. I got $100 to thank you for doing this interview. What are you buying with $100 at golf headquarters?
nothing.
Probably buy a new pair of golf shoes. I'll probably have to put a little money with it because they're going to be more than
Spikeless or spiked?
This year is the first year I wore the spikeless kind of shoes where I can wear on and off the course, so I don't have to change my shoes.
Wait, how do you have spikeless golf shoes?
They are fucking revolutionary. They are
How do they go?
revolutionary.
Because isn't the whole point of golf shoes to have like traction? Like
They have traction, but it's not like a traditional golf bike. So kind of like what I'm wearing here. I could play golf in these.
ridged.
okay.
I can play golf in these. I have some traction.
So those would be considered spikeless.
Yeah, or like teaching shoes. This would be like what a golf pro might wear. Like if you see he's in a golf shop or something, he's not playing. But some of these shoes that they make nowadays, if the
It's like a hybrid almost.
yeah, so unless the conditions are real wet, like they grip pretty good. They grip the turf pretty good. So kind of like just play golf in them, and now I don't have to change my shoes to go out to dinner. I just wear the same shoes kind of
Wear
thing.
the same
so.
fucking shoes.
That's cool.
Yep.
That's cool.
We're the same fucking shoes.
Yeah.
And
man.
they're pretty snazzy.
Final question I got for you tonight. I'm going to ask you the same question, and I'm going to follow up. You were at Pebble Beach Golf Course, which for the uneducated, Pebble Beach is one of the nicest courses in the world.
Monterey Peninsula,
Okay.
right on the ocean.
You been there?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
But it is a public golf link, so
It's you?
you can play it.
It's you and 3 other people. You're in a tournament. Who is your dream foursome? And one of them is you.
Wait, Dream Foursome? That's
Dream
not the way I...
foursome.
Okay, go ahead.
No. I'm not talking about you, Jahida, and like 2 other chicks. I'm talking like golfing.
Do they got to be like
I'm answering the
pros,
question.
or-
It can be anyone.
I'm answering the question as you asked it.
So obviously me, I got to have my dad.
Okay.
He's my dad, you know.
Okay.
Love my dad, even though we don't always see eye to eye. And so me and my dad, my grandfather, who didn't play golf, but I'm going to invite him along.
Okay.
And, I don't know. It's a tough one. You know, my grandfather didn't play golf. I'm going to invite him along to play. So it's my grandfather, my dad, me, and I'm going to go with Jack Nicklaus. Just because I'm a big Nicklaus fan and he's from Ohio.
Hell yeah.
You know, so.
Who do you got? Who do you got?
I'm going to bring my son.
Okay. I had a blast with your kid playing golf, by the way. I have never been offered beef jerky so much by someone.
By the way,
as your kid.
Beef jerky costs too fucking much.
It
Agreed.
fucking does. Fuck beef jerky at this point.
Yeah. No, I'm going to bring my son.
Okay.
To me, if we're in a tournament, I mean, I'm probably not. I've never been in any kind of like. I don't anticipate winning. I'm there to have fun. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not somebody who's like. I'm gonna drink, so I don't anticipate winning at all. So definitely my son. I would invite my wife. Whether she would go or not, that would be a different
She
decision.
could be your caddy if she don't want to play. You know,
That's
clean
true.
your
All right. So
balls
let's say she doesn't.
You can wash your
I
balls.
would.
Either the top plate or your testicles, one of the two. Or both.
Well,
She could test the
can-
She could test the sturdiness of your shaft.
she could.
You always could. You don't know.
That's season year round.
Yeah, that's
That's
year round. It doesn't have, you don't need a golf simulator in the winter to have your shaft tested by your wife. You know.
So definitely my son. Man, honestly, I would bring a lot of people because I just would rather have fun. Like if I could, I'd honestly bring like you, Willie, Dave. Like I'm obviously, yeah. So and my
Just have
son.
them all.
So
flip,
it would be like
have
a
all them
5
flip a coin for which one gets to join your group, and the rest of them can just walk around and get drunk and watch you play.
Fuck yeah.
They could be my caddy.
That's right.
So I
They
would.
could all take turns caddying per hole.
Yeah,
per
you-
hole.
You caddy on the first hole, you caddy on the second
There
hole.
we go. No, I would be there for the fun. I obviously would be there for any kind of winnings.
So if it were me, first and foremost, I bring my son. Well, I bring Wyatt. I mean, Wyatt's not going to golf. I mean, he's disabled, wheelchair. I mean, but we brought him to Chapel Hill, and just to see him, he was watching, and he got so excited when he heard the ping of the ball like getting hit, and he's like laughing and he's having a great time. That's like something I'm never gonna forget. So if we're at like Pebble Beach and it's a beautiful day, and that's who I'd want there with me. I want him watching and taking it in, right?
Yeah.
I bring David. He's my best friend. Dave Clements. He's my best friend. He's who got me into golf. He's who I was going through a really bad breakup. Like, chick I started dating the second day of college in 2007 up till 2014. I was in love with her. We were engaged.
The last name wasn't Cantor, was it?
No, it wasn't. But we were engaged, and she broke up with me. And a week later, David Clemens came over to my house, and he said, "We're getting you out of this house. We're going golfing." I said, "I've never been golfing." He said, "Well, today you're going, motherfucker." And we had like an ounce of weed, and we went and we fucking smoked weed.
So see,
and golfed Geneva on the lake.
He didn't know that, but he was growing the game of golf.
He was.
He brought another person into the sport.
Hey, so I bring Wyatt, my son. I bring David, and honestly, I bring you, bro. That would be my foursome, and I bring you just because I mean, like, at any point in my life that I've been in since I've been like graduated from college, David's always been a constant, but it was so weird when you became a constant in my life in like 2015 when we reconnected at the phone store we worked at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you just became that constant in my life when I would be going through shit or like
Verizon.
Yeah.
So he knows Cantor.
So he knows her too.
Oh, we talking about the thing.
We're throwing ants. But like
That's the Eskimo thing.
You never cared. You never you were always there for me, and then we started golfing together and shit, and that was fun, dude. Like, and we've had a blast golfing, and just like you were in my wedding and shit. Like, I mean, yeah, there's so many other dudes I golf with, but like, there's not many other dudes I have fun with. You know what I mean? And like we can literally just like be like, he's got a small dick to some dude on another tee, and like my other buddies be like, shut the fuck up, dude, you're gonna get our ass beat. And you're the type of dude that'd be like, yeah, you got a small dick, you piece of shit. Like,
I don't. For one,
it'd be fun.
I'm
like,
just fun. Yeah, I don't.
So
Like,
the
fuck
cool
that.
thing is, even though we're not in the same foursome, I feel like you're the foursome ahead of me, and I'm gonna fucking drive into your
Oh,
house.
Josh, like we'd be the foursome ahead of you, and I just have like a beer and throw it back to you.
Because I mean,
And then I'm gonna
I'm
be the
not
one to
saying I
kick
would-
your ball across.
I'm
the
not saying
fucking-
I'd never do a shot on the golf course. If you're,
We'll do shots together.
Like if you're
Fuck it.
driving into me, I'm kicking your ball across. I'm probably gonna pick it up, throw it back.
It's
Negative.
actually kind of funny because recently I played in an outing at Village Green, and the hole was like 325 yards, and I drove it over the green at 16 at Village Green into the fucking creek. It went 360 fucking yards.
Damn.
And the lady had to drive back, and she's like, and I'm just
Like, hey, we're still
sorry.
We're still here.
So, funny story. I was in a golf outing last Sunday. Not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before. And I was on a par 4, and I've been hitting my driver a lot better. I hit my fucking driver, and I thought there was these other guys on the same hole as me, these old-ass men. They were like 80. They were playing from the old man tees. I hit my driver. I'm like, I'm not going to... It was hole 6. Hole 6 it was right before that short par 3.
Yeah, that's 6, yeah.
I hit the fucking thing over the hill into the old men, and I didn't even know at first, but Scott Ansovitz, he was my 4th grade
They
teacher.
shouldn't have been standing there.
They shouldn't have been standing there. But my 4th grade teacher was on my team randomly, and my buddy Nate Winchell was on my team. And they're yelling 4, 4, and I'm fucking hammered. I'm wasted at this point. But it was so drunk, like it was so hot though that like you get drunk and you'd sweat it out 20 minutes later. You know what I mean? So we're driving up there, and I'm just kind of like looking down, and these old ass men who were like 80 are like, "You hit it into us, fuck you," and I'm like, "What do you want to do, you old piece of shit? Fuck you!" Like I'm screaming at him like I'm about to fight an 80-year-old man, and I think that's the cool thing about golf. You can tell an 80-year-old man to go fuck himself, and he isn't gonna do shit. You know what I mean? Because he knows that it's just a fucking ball being hit, baby.
Anymore.
He can't get his dick hard anymore. The hardest thing in his hand is a fucking golf club, baby. You know what I mean?
That's
the hardest thing that's ever
been
been in my hand too. I mean, because like I got premature ejaculation problems.
Oh,
Yeah, I
I'm
want that.
flexing a little bit. Oh,
All that
Yeah, you're
means is-
flexing. You're looking
all that,
good,
All that
bro.
means is you wait 15 minutes to
Because
give
the
it another
clothing up
shot.
shirt.
I can't do that, bro. So we went.
We're about
We're at 2.5 hours.
2:15.
Yeah, 2:15.
Yeah.
I mean, we've
so-
had a good fucking talk tonight, man. We talked
Yeah.
golf. This is a show that might not appeal to everyone in terms of the subject matter, but this is definitely a show that appeals to people in the sense of learning A, something new, B, learning how a game can really be applied to life in general, man.
Tell them.
Like, golf isn't basketball, it's not baseball, it's not football. It's never going to be that big three sport, but what it is going to be is it's going to be that game where you can go. I can go with my fucking 70-year-old dad who's never golfed before.
Yeah.
And make a fucking memory.
It might not be that camaraderie gathering around the bar watching the golf tournament, but it's when you're actually out on the fucking
Exactly.
golf course.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't brought my dad golfing with me yet, but I know if I bring my dad golfing, that's going to be a day where we have a 24-pack of beer in the back. He's fucking wasted, telling me I'm a piece of shit
And
because
you're
I
gonna
can't
tell
hit
him, will
right.
you shut the fuck up?
And he's gonna ask if you're from. And he's gonna ask if you're from Kuwait again. So back. It's a real funny story. At my bachelor party, it's the first time my father met Anthony.
I get it all the
And
time.
the next day when we come home, he's like, "Hey, let me ask you a question." I said, "Yeah, Dad. What's up?" "Your buddy Anthony. He from Kuwait." I was like, "What?"
From
I'm like,
Ashtabula.
I'm like, "No, he's from Ashtabula and he's fucking Puerto Rican, Dad. I don't know what to tell you." And he just goes, "Oh, okay. Hey, I need him to fix my fucking speaker."
And I did fix your dad's phone.
You did. You probably would have preferred it more if you were from Kuwait, though, because then you actually like work customer service, maybe. Who knows?
Phone
So
store.
yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick, let's. What's your grip look like?
My grip.
Yeah, what's it look like? That's not too bad.
I know it's not bad. I jerk off with it every day.
No, not at all. Not at all. Good positioning there. So
What's your grip look like?
Oh, I don't fucking know, dude. It's been so long. Let me see.
got the baseball grip.
He's got the baseball grip.
Mine's a baseball grip.
It's in the fingers though.
It's in the fingers, baby.
The-
You know,
the
it's all
thing
about
is-
like when you're doing the fingers. You know what I mean?
Like if I see that for a
All right,
second.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I always
Good.
tell people. So obviously the most popular grip is the overlap, where you actually just kind of put the finger over there. I always did the interlock, which is like Jack Nicklaus grip.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods. And there's the baseball grip,
Excuse me, I'm
or
sorry.
the 10-finger grip. You know what I mean? So like there's the 10-finger grip or the baseball grip's not real popular, but the biggest thing though is how you grip the club. Obviously, we want to grip it in the fingers of the club, and people get it up here in the palms. And then we want to have our hand position kind of more in a neutral position, kind of thing. So as long as you're gripping it holding the golf club in your fingers, you're halfway there, really. Yeah, you don't see any good players gripping it up in the palm of their hand.
So was I in the palm?
No, you look like you're kind of in the fingers there. So as long as you're holding it with your fingers.
Yeah, I felt like it was.
And obviously, some players have a little bit stronger grip or a little bit weaker. We try to get more in a neutral position. Like a Dustin Johnson's pretty strong. It's not like, again, it's not something you would teach, but obviously he's that talented, and so you wouldn't, really change something like that. But this is our first connection with golf is putting in our hands. So if
Yeah,
you can't
in your
grip
hands,
it,
man.
everything is geared towards what? Getting into that impact position.
Yep.
So it starts with a good grip, and then obviously we want to set up properly. Good weight distribution, ball position, alignment, stuff like that, and then get it to the top of the club. So I always tell people anybody can improve. You know what I mean? No, not everybody is going to be able to shoot in the 70s or be a scratch golfer, but everybody can improve from their current skill level. Everybody can improve and get better. And isn't that what it's all about? The better you are at something, it's a little more fun.
Listen, if you want to get better at fucking Call of Duty, if you want to get better at fucking making a sourdough bread, if you want to get better at fucking improving gas mileage on your car, it's all about getting better at something in an aspect of your life that's important to you. Golf is one of those sports where, it's not instant gratification. It's not, he's going to give me a lesson tomorrow, and I'm going to probably take lessons from him for the next umpteen years. I might shave 5 strokes off in that time, but it's all about getting better and the desire to do better. And that's the beautiful thing about golf. It's all about getting better. It's all about improving your station in the game. You're not gonna go out there and score 30 points a night and have who's some NBA dick rider chick. Who knows anymore? There's so many of them. You're not gonna get some thought on your balls, like, you know what I mean, from beginning.
You're not
of
gonna
a
get
golf swing.
groupies.
Yeah, you're not gonna get groupies, but what you are gonna get. Golf's that only sport where you can, like you said earlier, you might shoot 120 before lessons and 120 after lessons, but you shot better. You feel better.
Yeah.
You get more confidence, and that's such a great thing. It's like life. You might not do better, like you might be at a certain station in life.
You got to trust the process.
You trust the process.
Sometimes you don't.
That's the yes.
Sometimes it doesn't even matter if it's golf. It could be other sports. You know you're getting better, even though it might not show on the basketball court.
Yeah, it doesn't show on the box
diamond.
score.
It doesn't show on the grid. It doesn't show reflecting in your score because you might be a shitty fucking putter and chipper of the ball. You're hitting the ball better, but you're losing strokes in a different part of the game. So sometimes, and yes, at some point in time, you should actually see your score coming down, and you will if you trust the process.
And that's going to be the best thing in your life,
but
man.
Golf's one of those sports where I can go out and hit the ball like shit sometimes, and so I might shoot 200 par. And there's days where I hit the ball great and I shoot 4 over because I putted like a fucking bitch.
Like a chotch. Yeah.
So make golf your fucking thing.
Make golf your thing, man.
And if golf ain't your thing, that's cool. Make whatever it is you do, make that your fucking thing.
Well, they say practice
Share
makes
your passion.
improvement.
Whatever your passion is, share it with people. And there's going to be people that aren't interested in it. Okay, well, don't share it with them. But the people, hey, I want to learn how to play golf. I want to learn how to fucking be a chef. I want to learn how to do this. Share your passion with people,
Yeah.
I want to learn how to
whatever
eat
your
ass.
passion is. You're going to be best. You're going to be best suited to. You're going to be best when you share your passion, but you're going to be best at whatever you do when it's aligned with what you're passionate about.
Exactly.
When you're doing something you're passionate about, you can't help but succeed and be successful. If you're doing something you're not passionate about, it's hard to fake that. It's hard to be good at something you don't really want to do.
And that's a great thing about golf. You can't fake it. Either you're passionate about it or you're not. And I think that's the most beautiful thing about golf, because you might not be passionate today, but when your buddy goes out there and whoops your ass, you're going to become fucking passionate about it.
Absolutely.
And that's the greatest thing, man. So I want to take this opportunity to thank you for coming on our podcast.
Absolutely.
I've had a blast tonight. I mean,
It's good to meet you, man. This is the first time I've ever met you.
No,
yeah, this is a connection now.
I like what you guys are doing. I love what you guys are doing. Using technology to your advantage. Not everything is Saturday Night fucking Live or well, that's actually a bad example, but the Tonight Show. This ain't the Tonight Show, but you know what? It's pretty fucking awesome.
It's fun.
And it's real people interviewing real people in their community. You know what I mean?
The tagline for this podcast is a podcast about people for people.
Right, exactly. So you're just this is kind of community based, obviously.
Yeah, definitely.
It's really cool actually. I was pretty pumped that you asked me to come on here. So,
well, listen, we have a couple things in the works that we are going to be working on towards the end of the year, maybe beginning of next year. We're going to definitely hit you up to see if you want to come back or be involved in what we have coming up. But I want to take this opportunity. I want to thank Josh Krause for coming on our show to educate all of us on the game of golf. If you need golf lessons, if you're a male, female, there are only 2, or a kid and you want to learn how to golf, about growing the game of golf, you can find Josh Krause on Facebook at Josh Krause. He says he has an Instagram, but he hasn't logged into it in like 4 years, so don't hit him up on Instagram because you won't get a response.
You can do Instagram too. I'm kind of basically logged into it recently. So
oh, you log back in?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
What's your handle on Instagram?
Josh Krause, Krause. So I'm trying to be more
proactive
and interactive. So
he posts videos. He posts tutorials. We talk about making the game of golf accessible. This is a man who is making golf accessible. If you want to learn to golf, if you want to get better at golf, or if you want to just Get out there and try something new out. This is the guy to give a call to. So find him on Facebook, find him on Instagram at Josh Krause. I'm Tom Roth. This is Anthony Aquendo.
As
And
always.
that's Josh Krause.
Where?
Where?
Right there.
So thank you, Josh, for coming on tonight. We can't wait to have you back here
Buttons.
soon.
Buttons.
Guys, this is The Cut, episode 5. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Episode 5, we're out.
Peace.
Peace.